Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Naquam, watching for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday Night Fire, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashima Mashiach Wamalak Yabushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David. That's been this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushua. A hearty shalom to you mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice and doing all things for the elect's sake, pushing this truth and magnifying the ministry. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying. They're fasting. They're studying. They're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive, being diligent. Shalom to all of the elders out there, all of the young children out there growing in the knowledge and the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashima Mashiach Yahushai. Another Monday Night Fire, right? Coming straight off the new moon, giving again our honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashima Yahushai. This is a part 2, right? If you watched the previous Monday Night Fire, it was titled a similar title, A Warning to the 7 Churches. This is a continuation. We finished Revelation, the 1st chapter. We finished Revelation, the 2nd chapter. We're going to pick right back up in Revelation, the 3rd chapter. So everybody should have a Bible. Let me get the brother in here.
Shalom, King.
Shalom, King. Shalom. Yahweh Shemel Shabbat. Khan, so everybody should have a Bible, apocrypha, pen, pad, highlighters, notes, right? We went into the history, the location, we went into geography. So if you haven't seen part 1 or volume 1, rather, just go back at you'll check that thing out and you'll see what things you're lacking or you have missed. So we're waiting on Yaradan should be in momentarily, but we're going to pick it right back up. This is a warning to the 7 churches. These 7 churches were ancient churches back in time past, from Pergamos to Sardis. You're living the life of these 7 churches, right? You're receiving the same judgment and same warning and admonition and exhortation as these actual 7 churches in time past. So when we say a warning to the 7 churches, that generation is back on the earth right now. And I want to get this quick precept real quick, right? I want to go to the book of Luke. I want to pull it up on the screen, right? I want to go to the book of Luke, the 21st chapter, right? Let's go to Luke chapter 21. Just a quick precept at 29, right? So you have to understand that everybody comes back on the earth. The same spirits that were 2,000 that were there 2,000 years ago are back on the earth right now. Righteous spirits of the apostles, disciples, righteous women, even wicked women are back on the earth. Wicked men are back on the earth. Diotrephes, Hermogenes, Philetus. You understand? Alexander the coppersmith. All these men are back on the earth, man. Now this is Luke chapter 21 and 29. And he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. Right? You know, anybody, a child can understand the transition of seasons. They can look at the flowers blooming and the bees out and the butterflies, dragonflies and rabbits and greenery and understand, okay, it's no longer wintertime, it's springtime. So likewise, yea, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand. So the Most High compares prophecy budding and blooming and increasing to wildlife and nature. It reads, verily I say unto you, here's the point. This generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. So this shows you that this generation would have to be back on earth. Because why would the Most High say through his son Yahushua, this generation shall not pass away? If this was a literal statement, that means that these men that he addressed would never have passed away. They would still be on the earth. You have men that are well over 2,000 plus years old walking around somewhere on the earth. But we know that's not what it's talking about. That generation is going to be what? Back on the earth now. And that's when all of the prophecies are going to be fulfilled. So these 7 churches, don't think that they're just done away with. They're back on the earth right now. You may have actually stepped inside of the actual physical synagogue. You know, in time past. You know, but you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. And I wanted to touch on one thing too, right? When you go to Revelation chapter 2, right, and I'm gonna start at verse 5, right? Revelation 2 and 5, right? And it reads, right? It says, "Remember, therefore, from whence thou art fallen." And that's spiritual in itself, man. Remember whence you have fallen, man. And that's on a spiritual level as well, man. It says, "And repent and do the first works." Because even in the book of Isaiah, right? Let me get this real fast. Right, bear with me. Isaiah chapter 26. I'm gonna pull this up. Right? The book of Isaiah chapter 26 and verse. Let me see what I want. This whole thing crazy. I could start at I don't want to read too much. I'm gonna start at 16, right? It says, "Lord, in trouble have they visited thee. They poured out a prayer when thy chastening was upon them, like as a woman with child that draweth near the time of her delivery, is in pain and crieth out in her pains. So have we been in thy sight, O Lord. We have been with child. We have been in pain. We have, as it were brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have I in the inhabitants of the world fallen. Thy dead men shall live together with my dead body shall they arise." And why is Isaiah saying that, man? Because he knows he's going to be back on earth. These men, they spoke in the spirit on a deeper level, man, because they already knew certain things. It says, "Thy dead men shall live together with my dead body." Right? We were dead in the world, but yet we came to life with Yahushua. And the Lord said, going back to Revelation 2 and 5, he said, "Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent and do the first work, or else I will come unto thee quickly and will remove thy candlestick out of its place, except thou repent." Because you don't know who you used to be in this thing, man. You understand? You could be literally one of the genealogy that you read in Chronicles. Don't think you just King David or, maybe you Abraham. And you could be a man on fire somewhere on the earth, and you literally read about yourself in the scriptures. Any genealogies of Matthew, any genealogies of Luke, any genealogies, you understand, of the Chronicles. You may have read one of the apostles. So you don't know who you are. So literally the Lord is saying, "Remember where thou hast fallen and repent." And the Lord said in the book of Psalms chapter 24, right, in verse number 6, right? Psalms chapter 24, right? I'm going to go to verse 6. It says, "This is the generation of them that seek him. Thy face, O Jacob Salah." So the Lord said, this is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob Salah. So we're living in the last generation. And this is the generation that's seeking the Lord's face. Everybody that was lost right in the past is coming back to the knowledge of truth. Everybody that didn't know what was going on. Everybody that had a past life. Hey, Paul had a past life. A lot of men, they woke up in the truth of Onesimus in the book of Philemon, huh? All of these men, they woke up, you understand, by the knowledge and grace and mercy of Yahushua, just like us. And the Lord requires that which is past. And this is the last generation. Don't think it's going to be another 4,000 years. You got it.
Come. Like the brother said, man. Even that, it's like, is it an echo? Is it an echo? Can you hear me?
Con. I don't hear an echo.
Okay, Con. Yeah, like the brother was saying, man, to add to that, you could have even wrote portions of the Bible, man. Sitting up there writing the Psalms, right? Or writing well, you had men that wrote with Ezra, man. He spoke by day and held not his tongue by night. You had men that put over 200 books together. So, you're part of this earth. I mean, part of this generation, like the brother was saying. I want to get this in St. Matthew, the 23rd chapter, right? So everybody comes back on earth. We've done breakdowns and regeneration for those who are trying to figure out, what do you mean we're back? I thought this was, no, you're here again. Welcome back, man. And the Lord said in 2 Peter 3:1, he wrote that epistle to stir up your mind by pure way of remembrance. You know, this is like a sticky note or reminder you left on your phone, huh? And now it's beaming up or beeping in the last days, and that alarm is going off. Right? This St. Matthew 23:35. I'll start at 34. It reads, "Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues and persecute from city to city. That upon you," this is what he told them, "that upon you, Slakia, may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the righteous blood of Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come on this generation." You see that? Everything is going to come upon this generation. Meaning when Yahushua returns, hey, they're going to have to answer for Abel. Esau is going to have to answer for killing Abel. No longer is he going to be a fugitive. He's going to be actually brought to court, man, and judged. That's Obadiah, the 1st chapter. It says, "Savior shall stand on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's." So he's not going to escape from killing Abel. All of the 2/3, they're not going to escape. They killed Zacharias, man, and all of the prophets. The Lord said, all these things shall come upon this generation. So everything, the final judgment, and all of the crimes and sins that you have committed, you're going to have to answer for it in this life right here, man. This is the final judgment, the final generation, like the brother said. They even call this generation, you had the baby boomers in the 1940s. Then you had like the, I believe that was the 1930s, 1940s. They had the baby boomers generation. Then you had like the millennials or whatever. But they call this generation, I want to pull this up, Generation Z, if I'm not mistaken. See if I can pull that up. They actually call this Generation Z. Now, Z is the last letter of the alphabet. Why does the so-called white man call this generation Generation Z? Because he knows it's the end. This isn't Generation A. It's not Generation 1. This is the final generation. And that's why the so-called white man's coming down with all types of witchcraft and sorcery to try to make this new world order happen, because he knows that this is the end. And I was thinking about it. One more quick point, man. When you look at these, the damn children and the youths now, I mean, I can't see a more wicked generation coming after this, man. I can't see it. How more wicked can we get? You know, so this adds to what the brother was saying, man. Even a so-called white man, he calls this thing Generation Z. I got one more real quick. This Ecclesiasticus, right? One more precept, right? This Sirach chapter. And while we going over this, because a lot of brothers, they said the warning to the 7 churches. I don't have to watch that, right? I don't know anything about the 7 churches. I believe I want 14 and 18. Well, brother, you may be you are part of the 7 churches, right? This is right, chapter 14 and 18. As if the green leaves on a thick tree, some fall and some grow, so is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end, and another is born. You see that? That's plain. You got it, King.
Right. And
you want to go back to the Revelation? You had something.
Khan, I got something.
All
I
right,
want to go to Matthew 4 and 19.
Khan.
Right. The book of Matthew, chapter 4 and 19. And that's why this truth makes so much sense to you, man. Though nothing else in the world makes more sense to you than the truth, man. And you don't know why it made so much sense. A lot of people, they came into the truth off of a precept. Off of one video, you changed your life, man. How impossible does that sound? Bet you if somebody told you, look, you're going to change everything about yourself, from who you associate yourself with to the clothes, the music you listen to, the environment you adapt yourself to, right? Even a dietary law, what you eat, and all of it will be within a couple of minutes. You probably wouldn't believe it, man. Jake known for saying I'll never change. Right. I am who I am. It is what it is, man. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be. Right? I ain't never switching up. Jake said that all the time, man.
Right.
Hey, when the Lord came to the disciples, it's Matthew 4:19. It says, and he saith unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. That's plain. I mean, immediately they dropped everything and followed the Lord, man. Do that video on the highways and byways. A lot of men, they came into the truth off the highways and byways. I mean, immediately they dropped everything they had, that old book, that idol around their neck, or whatever trap and snare or stumbling block they were in, and they straightway followed the Lord. It wasn't a class they had and they sit down there for 20 hours. It wasn't something that somebody bribed somebody into. Or no, it's all predestination, man. When you hear these words, you immediately, it resonates with your spirit because you knew them from old, man. It says, and when you go to the book real fast in Matthew chapter 19, right, in verse 28, right, Matthew chapter 19 and verse number 28, right, the classic. It says, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration. So you have certain men, they followed the Lord in the past, man. And that may be you watching. You may be in one of the multitude, right? You could have been one of the women that were ministering alongside of them doing the work. You understand, helping the ministry. You don't know what's going on. But a lot of men, they followed the Lord in the regeneration. That's why it's so easy to follow him now. It says, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man says, Salakia, shall sit on the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Come. So brothers, don't, you read in these epistles, the Lord said, and you are these epistles, man. And 2 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. So you are the church of Corinth, right? You are the brothers that was in Ephesus. These letters are written to you. You're these men back on the earth. This is so we're gonna kick it off, right? We're gonna go back to these 7 churches. Now we're dealing with Sardis, right? This is the letter written to the church in Sardis. So this is Revelation 3:1. It reads, and unto the angel of the church in Sardis write, these things said he that hath the 7 spirits of the Most High, and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou livest, and art dead. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before the Most High. Now I want to touch on this quick point. The Lord knows your works, that you have a name, that thou livest, and art dead. Meaning what? You're somebody they call it dead weight, right? Dead weight is somebody who may be on a team, right? You may be part of a corporation, and you show up, you clock in, right? You wear the company uniform. You understand? You're on the payroll, but you don't do nothing. You're showing up late. You don't perform your task on time. You're always on the verge of being fired and let go. You serve no purpose. You're there, but you're not there. There's no point in you being there. And you have brothers in the truth like that, man. How can you live and be dead at the same time? Meaning you're in this thing, but guess what? You're not in this thing, man. Why? Because you don't read, you don't study, you don't labor, you don't pray, you don't fast, you're barely keeping the commandments, you're getting tossed to and fro, you're hanging around the wicked. So how are you claiming to be an Israelite and saying you feel alive or you're in this truth when spiritually you're waxing worse, man? I got a quick precept. And it's a lot of brothers like that, man. Right? It's a lot of brothers who are like that. This is a classic. This is Proverbs 21:16. It's a lot of brothers who just say that they Israel and they got the name on their bio. and it says tribe of Judah. They might even have the lion emoji right there. You got sisters. They got all these Proverbs 31 shirts on. How is there so many Proverbs 31 women? When the Most High said it's like finding a ruby.
Right.
Everybody's a Proverbs 31 woman. All right, you ever seen a ruby?
I ain't never seen a ruby.
I've never seen a ruby in my life. Right? I don't even see rappers with rubies, man. Yeah. Or these top celebrities. They only wear diamonds, or they might have like some platinum or some canary diamonds or some rose gold or some Cuban links or whatever. But they don't have rubies. So how is every woman in the truth the Proverbs 31 woman? And every brother's the Apostle Peter. This Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Right? So you can be in this thing, but you're slowly wandering out. Right? You're slowly leaving this thing, and you're waxing worse and worse. I got one more real quick. This Proverbs chapter 4. Right? This Proverbs chapter 4, and I'm gonna start at 14. That's what the Most High said this, man. Proverbs chapter 4 and 14. It reads, enter not, Slakia. Is that what I want? I'm gonna jump down. Right? This Proverbs chapter 4 and 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. You know, so you in this truth, you have to keep your mind focused in this thing. That's what the Most High is saying. Right? Don't give your mind over to the world. Don't give your mind over to women. Don't give your mind over to folly and demons, because this is how you can save people. Right? This is how you bring people back to the Most High. You know, that's like you a chef and you got this magnificent refrigerator and you just let all the food in it grow moldy. Well, brother, how are you going to feed everybody in the restaurant? So your mind is used as a vessel of instruction. So if you pollute your mind, then what you give the people is going to be polluted. It says, put away from thee the forward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Yeah, don't be having your eyes wander into all types of philosophies and doctrines back into the world. Focus, man. That's what the Most High is saying. This truth is about focusing on the finish line, focusing on the target. That's why brothers wander out and become dead. Here's the point I want. 26 and 27. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. You got to check yourself, man. You got to sit there and make sure, okay, it's my steps in this truth towards the finish line. Right? Enoch walked with the Lord. He pondered the path of his feet. Noah walked with the Most High. Abraham walked with the Most High. When it says they walked with the Lord, meaning they were prophets and they were keeping the commandments and they were focused and they served the Most High wholeheartedly. You got a lot of brothers who are in this thing, but they're not pondering the path of their feet. If you walking and your eyes are closed, you're going to end up drifting off somewhere, man. It reads, turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. So if you have a name and you live and you're dead, you're only dead because you're not focused. You've lost what was important to you, and you're slowly waxing worse, and you're on your way to fall out this thing. You got it, King.
Come on. Right, it's the book of Job, chapter 29 and verse 19. Right? The book of Job, chapter 29 and verse 19. And it reads, it says, my root was spread out by the waters. So where your man is a tree. So whatever you're going to have your roots are is going to be abundance. You got to have your roots next to a desert. You understand? You got to have your roots next to women. Well, whatever you have your roots next to on a tree, that's what you're going to grow fruit on, man. You got your so-called tree growing roots all in vanity, wickedness. Like it's going to show through the tree. And so my root was spread out by the waters, meaning the knowledge of the Lord. And my dew laid all night upon my branch, right? So the knowledge of the Lord is supposed to keep you growing. You know, they got certain men and women, they're obsessed with their plants, they're gardeners. They have like a little spray and they're always spraying the plants. They're always making sure the so-called plants have a lot of nutrients, they're growing, they have the right amount of sun so that they could bring forth fruit, man. Now, if you don't tend to that plant and you're not aware of what's going on, and that thing could wax worse, man. It could peel over, it could start to get brown. And the thing about a tree or a plant, it doesn't immediately scorch. It shows and it takes times and it starts to get brown. It starts to tumble over. And that's the Lord warning you, man. Right? It says what? My glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. It says, unto me men gave ear, and waited and kept silence at my counsel. After my word they spake not again, and my speech dropped upon me. So that's what you're going to want in this thing. It says, and they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. You don't want to be dry in this thing. You understand? Not speaking wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Everything you say should be godly discourse and wisdom. Like it should be nobody that feels like they can get so-called next to you because they see your light shining. I don't want to talk to him. He's going to rebuke me. Or he's not nice. Or I don't know about him. He's like brothers always say, we the party poopers, man. We tell you what you don't want to hear. And we're going to tell you what it is, man. When you go to the book of Sirach, chapter 24, right? In verse number 26. Right? Book of Sirach, chapter 24, and verse number 26. Right? And it reads, he maketh the understanding to abound like Euphrates, and as Jordan in the time of the harvest. So he's going to make man to increase and grow in this thing, man. And not just a little water. A lot of brothers, they get content with a little water. They know one book, they know one precept, they know one breakdown, gets to their head, they feel like they've obtained, they're on fire with their own understanding. And the next thing they know, they stop inquiring the water, man. It says, look, as Jordan in the time of the harvest, he maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light, and as Gideon in the time of vintage. The first man knew her not perfectly, no more shall the last find her out. For her thoughts are more than the sea, and her counsels profounder than the great deep. I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a conduct into a garden. I said, I will water my best garden. So the Lord said he's going to water his best garden. He's not watering everybody. Stop thinking the Lord going to give everybody knowledge, man. When you read the book of Song of Solomon, the 6th chapter, the Lord's coming into his garden and he's watering the precious lilies, man. Right? Everybody's not a lily in the Lord's garden. You got weeds, you got thorns, you got thickets. You got a lot of men that's not getting water and they're not growing in this thing. It says, I said, I will water my best garden and will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river and my river became a sea. So you're supposed to abound more and more with the waters. Stop being content with the water that the Lord gave you, man. Why not cry for more? Why not obtain more as you grow in this truth, man? And if anybody stays the same and stagnant, that's pitiful, man. You know how much knowledge it is in this Bible that we don't know, man, that we've read right over, that we've read books 2 and 3 times. And then when you read them the 3rd and 4th time, you still uncover more things through the Spirit.
Huh? That's an excellent point, man. So you brothers, man, like the Lord said in Revelation 3, check yourself, right? Check your spirit, man, right? It says, thou hast a name that thou livest and art dead, right? That's why it says be watchful, right? When it says be watchful, that doesn't just mean you're watching for the prophecies, right? And you're hitting the refresh button like we always say. That's very important, right? You're watching for the prophecies, you're circumspect, you understand, you're measuring the times. But the Lord said, I want to get this precept, I believe Sirach the 29th chapter, 27. There is one that teacheth many, and yet he's unprofitable to himself. That's Sirach 27 to 19, I believe.
Right.
Oh, that's let me find that one real quick. Right, Salakia. Right, the Lord said there is one believe it's 20. It's lucky here. I'm going to get this real quick, just so brothers can understand. 37, right? I said 27. So lucky. 37. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and 19. It reads, there is one that teacheth many and yet is unprofitable to himself. This is the type of brother in Revelation 3, right? He has a name, but he doesn't know that he's dead. He's watching for the prophecies, but he's not watching over his spirit. He's teaching everybody World War III is about to happen. He always goes into the missiles. He speaks about the America falling, and he always goes in on the holidays, and he speaks about the judgment coming to the earth and Yahweh Shai and all of the plethora of angels. And he always says the sky is going to crack open. He's teaching many people. But what? The Most High said he's also unprofitable to himself. How can you teach many but still be unprofitable to yourself? Because what you're teaching the people, you're not applying it to yourself. You know, you're one of the brothers who go out there and say, look, like the Pharisees and the Sadducees, right? Why don't you go out here and do this and keep the law and do this, and behind closed doors, you're not doing what you're telling people to do. You're a hypocrite. You got a lot of hypocrites in this world. You know, telling everybody, okay, you got to keep this commandment. You got to make sure you're doing this. And then as soon as the sun go down on the Sabbath, they turn and revert back to an old Negro back in the world, man. You can't be out there telling people what the Most High requires of them, and you're not watching over your own spirit. Anything that you're telling somebody, you should be living it, man. You have to watch over your spirit and say, okay, look, what I know I'm bringing this out to the people, but am I applying that to myself? The Lord said, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. And they call that if you know, like physical rehab or deal with sports, your muscles can actually wither away. I had this I had a great uncle. I believe he was my great uncle from Texas, and he had muscular dystrophy. So he had a stroke, and then he wasn't able to function. He used to be athletic. He used to, ride bikes and do all types of stuff. But in process of time, his muscles started fading away. Right. But in order to get his muscle mass back, he would have to like work out, do physical rehab, and do certain exercises. If he didn't strengthen those muscles, he would lose complete function in his arm. And that's what happened to him. He stopped doing his rehab, his physical rehab. He stopped doing his little exercises, and he lost all function in his arms and his legs, and he couldn't even move. And that happens to brothers on a spiritual level. If you don't check your members and strengthen them, they're going to be pointless and useless to you, man. Like your arm may represent you studying, right? Your leg and your other arm may represent your fasting and your reading. And you have to strengthen those things or they're just going to fade away, and they'll be there, but you won't be able to use them. You got it, King.
Khan, y'all down in the background.
Okay, let me get a minute.
Yeah. This 1 Corinthians chapter 9, right? And verse number 27. Shalom. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 27.
You got to mute your background.
So like the brother said, man, you can lose this thing, man, right? You don't want to lose everything that you've obtained so far, man, right? It's the book of 1 Corinthians 9 and 27. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway, right? Linking up to what the brother brought on Sirach chapter 37, man. You could teach to others and the Lord still cast you away because you wasn't holding fast what it is that you were teaching, man. But like a better terms, you were a hypocrite. And a lot of men are hypocrites in this thing, man. Yeah, everybody falls short from the glory, you understand, and obtaining. Right, but that don't mean that, oh, well, I give up. It is what it is. No, I'll never be this. I'll never be that. Like, you have to continue to work out, man. And working out isn't easy. You have to burn, you sweat. It's uncomfortable. Your muscles get weak sometimes, but it's all for the greater and good to strengthen your body so that you can see progress and growth. When you go to the book right? It's Sirach chapter 1, right? In verse number 29, right? It's Sirach chapter 1 in verse number 29, and it reads, be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest, man. So you have to take good heed of what you're bringing out, what you're saying, and are you applying it, man? Because you could read all day long. That's not anything to the Lord. Let you know there are Edomites that read with no understanding. Right. There are different nations that are in all of these different so-called religions that pick up the Bible. Yeah, you read, but what are you doing with it, man? Are you applying it? Are you understanding it? Is it bearing witness with you? Right? It gets deeper than just reading every day. A lot of people just think, well, I read. Well, did you apply? Did you make the food sufficient unto thee for what you're going through? It says, be not a hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. So you have to take good heed what you speak in this truth, because if you don't and you're not applying it, hey, man, you could lose your members.
Huh. Hey, man, you see somebody, man, with no members, with no arm, with no leg. We see brothers like that in this thing, man. And you can't even function, man. You can't function if you don't have no arm, no legs, and the most High slowly taking away your members from you. That's why we got certain brothers, they don't even go to camp anymore, because the Most High took that away from them. Because they was only going in the summertime, right? Or they was only going when it was nice out. They didn't go in the wintertime. They didn't endure all things. So the Most High took that completely spirit of going to camp away from them. Now that they don't even go out in the highways and byways. You have brothers who was only reading one verse a day, one chapter a day. It's this truth song. This guy said 2 chapters a day. Keep the demons away. Where is that at in about 2 chapters? You might as well not. You might as well go to church. You know. So if you're not reading, guess what? The Most High is going to take that away from you, man. He's going to take what you aren't strengthening. And we've seen it, brother. Now that one brother that was reading 2 chapters a day, now you don't even want to read anymore, because he's not strengthening these things, man. This is like the brother was saying, this is like working out. This is like physical rehab. When you're losing things and you have people that are trained to help you build that muscle mass back. And we got an elder in the camp, man. You know, the elder, he's getting himself right, man. But you have certain people that have to do things like that to get back to where they are or where they're supposed to be. I got a quick precept. This 1 Corinthians chapter 9, and I believe it was 14 through 16. Right? This 1 Corinthians 9 and 14. Even so hath the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. Right? On a one level, you're supposed to be taken care of, and it's true, right? For preaching the word. But on another level, if you preach this thing, you got to live this thing, man. You got a lot of brothers who know 20,000 precepts, but the application of them is lacking. You bringing out all these scriptures, or all these, you got brothers that only study precepts on Esau bowing down. Right? They type in Esau bowing down in a concordance, right? And they just studying all that 24/7. No, you're supposed to live this thing. If you preach this thing, see, this truth isn't Christianity. When you come into this thing, you're supposed to be a new creature. You're supposed to change. You can't live life. What's the difference between you and these big mamas and Uncle Leroy on Sunday service, man? What's the difference? They put on fancy outfits and big hats and white gloves. You put on your garment. Y'all do the same thing. Y'all put on the front. Sister put on the dress and the head wrap. What's the difference between you and Sister Shirley? Y'all are the same people, because both of y'all play the part, but y'all don't live the part. And you got these people in church, man. They do that for man. Oh yeah, she gonna see this hat, right? They gonna see this today. They putting on all of the chains to be seen of man.
It's Salakia. They call it Sunday's best.
Yeah, they call it Sunday's best. That's exactly what they call it. Right? They put on Sunday's best. Jake put on. Hey, my folks used to do that, man. My great grandparents. Y'all don't know. They had my great grandfather. He'll put on a money chain. He had a money chain he'll put on. And I'm a kid. I'm like, well, damn, y'all, y'all getting decked out. He had a dollar sign gold money chain with diamonds in it. He put on a gold rings, a damn button up. My great grandmother, she put on some Versace glasses. They getting decked out, man. For man, people in there were all white. Then you got and it's no difference than brothers on feast days or unity camps. Everybody put on a garment to act like they're righteous. Then they go back home and they lusting and watching porn. And women talking back to their husbands. The Most High is going to get up with you, man. Because you can do that for man, but you can't do that for the Most High. You can't hide from the Most High. I got one quick precept, man. Right? This second Ezra's. You got people that do, instead of Sunday's best, the Sabbath best, man. Put on your Sabbath best. That's wicked. This second Ezra's, chapter 16 and 63. It reads, surely he knoweth your inventions and what you think in your hearts, even them that sin and will hide their sin. Therefore hath the Lord exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. So everybody that's faking it, the Most High is going to put you to shame. And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. So all that faking for man, the Most High said, when he judge you, you're going to be ashamed before men, right? And these men, they can't accuse you because they don't know what you're doing. You're faking it. But you have witnesses watching your hypocrisy. Your witnesses is going to bring up these accusations are your own sins. And it's going to testify to your face that you live this truth as a hypocrite the whole time. You got it, King.
Khan, I want to get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, right? And 19. I'm going to start at 18.
Okay.
Right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 18. All right? So brothers got to examine themselves in these last days, man. This isn't a game, man. Right? It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 18. They shall see him and despise him, but God shall laugh them to scorn. And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass and a reproach among the dead forevermore. For he shall rend them and cast them down headlong, that they shall be speechless, and he shall shake them from the foundation, and they shall be utterly laid waste and be in sorrow, and the memorial shall perish. And when they shall cast up the accounts of their sins, and a lot of people act like they don't have sins, man. Oh, I repented. I did this. I did this. When your track record, for lack of better terms, finally get pulled up from the Most High, and that scroll is so long, it's miles long, and you thought you was on fire, you thought you repented, you thought you was in the truth. Hey, the Lord got more dirt on you than you think, man. Because even with your so-called repenting of, you don't even know half of your wickedness, man. You don't know what you dreamt of last night. Guess what? Because you forgot it when you woke up in the morning. You don't know that grudge at work and what you said under your breath, because why? You got a phone call and it took your mind right off of it. Next thing you know, you're right back at work thinking about something else, man. Your mind's always moving. And your mind is not sticky paper where it has every single thing you've ever thought right down, and you could just tap into every thought you ever had. So you don't know how wicked you actually are, man. It says, and when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their faces. Meaning you going like Fred Sanford, man. If you ever seen a Sanford and Son, he caught his heart every single time, and he couldn't believe. He said, "This is the big one, man." That's gonna be brothers in that day, man. I did this, I did that. I thought I was righteous, and your own iniquities are gonna convince yourself to their faces, man. I want to get another precept, Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 1. So don't be surprised, man, when a lot of brothers get destroyed and they see the brother they've been laboring with get beamed up, man. Y'all was on the same amount of calls. Y'all was side by side on the highways and byways, or your wife, or whatever the case may be. Right? This is the book of Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 1. Therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, I beseech you, that ye walk worthily of the vocation wherein you were called. So if you were called in righteousness, called to serve, walk worthy for that, man. Don't walk unworthily and the Lord called you to do something, man. That's wicked. It said, therefore, the prisoner of the Lord. And when you're a prisoner, you have no choice but to do whatever your master tells you to do, man. You can't just kick up and be lazy when you feel like it. It says, you that ye walk worthily. A lot of brothers don't walk worthily, man. They walk in, for lack of better terms, lazy. They're barely showing up. They're walking on the line like they're drunk. They're not walking worthily of the vocation wherein you were called. And if you're not walking worthily, then the Lord is going to take that away from you, man.
Yeah, a quick point too. Like a vocation is like a job, like a career, you know? And how much more the Most High? If you got a job in the world and you don't take that thing serious, what's going to happen? You're going to get fired, man. You have these top career like judges, doctors, lawyers, whatever, man, you know, and you have top law firms. If you get hired to one of these top law firms, they expect big things out of you, man. They expect you to stay late, you know, and work in these cases. They expect you to not really see your family like that. They expect you to win the big cases that are publicized. You know, they expect you to bring this money in, man. So what happens, like the brother was saying, if you kind of like, I just want to get a few drinks, or I just don't feel like showing up to work today. Hey, they're going to get rid of you, you know? And a lot of these lawyers, they know each other, man. All these firms, they talk. And then they're going to say, look, don't hire this guy ever, man. And you're going to be somewhere working at Pizza Hut doing this with the damn dough, man, flipping it up. You know, putting pepperoni on pizza, man. Asking for tips because you got fired from your job. And that made me, that's a good precept. That made me think of this real quick. This, that's Hebrews, the 3rd chapter. Right? So, brothers, you know, you got to, that Revelation 3 is a heavy verse, man. The Lord said, be watchful and strengthen the things that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. Now, this Hebrews, I want chapter 3. And boy, man, this actually is Hebrews chapter 4, Salaki. Right? 3 and 4 is mighty, but I want Hebrews chapter 4. Right? Let's go to Hebrews, the 4th chapter. And Hebrews is a mighty book, man. If you haven't read Hebrews, then you know you're going to find yourself lacking. Right? This Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 14. I'll start at 13. Hebrews 4 and 13. Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do. I mean, the Most High sees you like you naked. You can hide and keep putting on layers. The Most High sees your nakedness. Right? He sees your sins all the time with the via the angels. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passing to the heavens, Yahweh Shah, the Son of the Most High, let us hold fast our profession. Right? Now, when you go to this word profession, let me pull this up real quick. Right? Let me go to this word profession. So it should say, I don't think we went into this word in a while, but it should say, okay, they said whom we profess. A profession is a job, right? People say that all the time. Well, what's your profession? I'm a athlete. Or what's your profession? I'm a firefighter, right? Or what's your profession? I'm a teacher. So the Lord said, hold fast your profession. And what's your job in this truth? A servant of the Most High. You know? What's your job as a woman? If you're a married woman, your job is a helpmeet. If you're a man who the Most High gave the knowledge to, your job is to go out there and bid people to the marriage. Everybody has a profession. And if you're not upholding your profession like anything, hey, they'll cut ties with you, man. They'll give you your walking papers. And like we always say, when you get fired from the Most High, I've never seen no spiritual unemployment. You know, we went into that the other day, man. I've never seen a brother fall out that the Most High give him spiritual unemployment, and every first of the month he gives him 3 precepts to keep him in his thing. That's ridiculous. So, brothers, hold fast your profession, man. You got it. Somebody got it. Well, y'all want to go back to Revelation 3?
Come, we can go back to Revelation 3.
You had something y'all done?
Oh, no. All right. Is there a static on my end?
Yeah, it's a little bit, but it's not
I
too
mean,
bad.
I mean myself. I was just wondering.
You said what?
I said I mute myself. I was just wondering.
Okay, come. It says Revelation 3 and 2, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. So, meaning don't think that you finally obtained and made it. Yeah, you read 15 chapters today. Your works ain't perfect yet, man. You fasted for 15 days straight. Your works are not perfect. You understand? You damn studied till your eyes fell back. Your works aren't perfect. You prayed 15 times. Your works aren't perfect. You still have to strengthen the things. There's always something to improve on. That's what the Most High said. But that comes with examining yourself, man. You know, and see what things are lacking in your body and strengthen that. Like we went into working out, athletes do that. They say, damn, I noticed my, kind of get my arms, man. My arms not really toned how they used to be. Man, let me strengthen that. And they'll start doing push-ups and dips and all types of stuff. Then they may say, damn, my legs, it's leg day today. Right? My legs not, and they'll start doing squats and whatever you do working out your legs, man. You know, and these bodybuilders, they're always working out. They're addicted, man. You know, so you got to have that spirit on you, man.
I got a quick point.
God.
Right, when you turn on your furnace, you don't get satisfied and go to sleep. Once that furnace pumps up that fire for like 30 minutes, you needed to pump on all night because that's what you expect that furnace to do. Right? Yeah. Same way with us. The Lord's not going to get satisfied and content once we read 30 chapters or study 1 hour. He's like, okay, he's in kingdom. All right, he did it. He met his quota, now he's good. And we have to be on fire all day. Same way that furnace is on in your house all night.
God. Hey, and I want to get this precept, Salakia, in the book of Exodus. All right? Let's get this in Exodus. That's what the Lord said, let your lights and your lamp be burning. You know? You got brothers that say, I finally obtained. Because they finally read the Bible. This Exodus 27 and 20. This is the law. And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring thee pure oil, not tainted oil, not diluted, pure oil, olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. It didn't say sometimes. It didn't say, well, they just burn this on a Sabbath day, or they'll just burn it on the first day of the week. They have to labor to produce oil. That's why it says oil olive beaten, because oil doesn't just drip from a damn. You have to beat it, and you have to go through a method to get this oil from this olive, man. So you have to produce oil. You have to study. You have to labor. You have to pray to receive the understanding, man. And that's what's going to cause your lamp to burn always. So this is all 24/7. They have to labor because they have to keep their lamp burning 24/7. And it's for the Most High, man. This lamp isn't just for man. This is for the tabernacle of the congregation. This is for the priest. You know? And this links up with Sirach 33 and 17. Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all those that seek learning. Because all the oil that you're getting is supposed to be used and given to do the work of the Most High, man. You know, so let your lamp burn always and produce this oil, man. You know, so we can go back to Revelation 3 at 3. It reads, remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. See that? So you got to remember how you received and heard what? This truth. Remember the estate you was in. I know a lot of brothers that came into this truth at a low estate, man, and you ain't have nothing. You might have been broke. Your wife might have just left you. A lot of brothers came into this truth rock bottom, and the Most High gave you hope. You might have just came out of jail. Remember how the Most High gave you mercy and gave you this truth, man. So that should be motivation. That's what the Lord is saying, man. That should motivate you, because when you first got this thing, you ain't had nothing, man. You ain't have SHIT, man. Ain't nobody had nothing before you had this truth. So remember the estate you was in when the Most High gave you this thing, man. You know, I know brothers that came into this truth locked up in prison. Now you want to be slothful. A brother was on his damn deathbed, man. I talked to earlier this week, man. And the Most High got him released out of there, man. So, you know, you got to sit there and examine yourself, man. And okay, when I got this truth, I ain't had nothing. I was on rock bottom. I was broke. I was getting high. I was depressed. I got evicted. Then the Most High gave me this truth. Okay, let me go hard for the Most High. Let me hold on to this thing, and I better repent. And the Most High said, if you don't repent, He gonna take this thing from you. Brothers got it.
Come. This 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number 9. Right? 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number 9. And when you actually think about it, man, we have so much to be thankful for through the Spirit, man. When we actually look at where we have come from to where we are now, man. I was thinking about that earlier today. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 9. For I am the least of the apostles, that am not meet to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church, man. Imagine if that was weighing on your mind all the time, your past life, man. Right? You used to be a so-called whore, or you used to be a thief, you used to be a murderer. You used to hate your brother's guts, man. You used to rob them blind, man. You used to do all of these things that were wicked, man. Hey, Paul, he persecuted the church. Now, if you did something wrong to somebody, a lot of people, they'll go that much more harder, man. You understand? And a lot of people, if they stole from their cousin, when they come around, they're going to make sure that much more that they won't be seen in that light. You understand? Right. And that's what Paul was saying through the Spirit. Reading on. But by the grace of God, I am what I am. And his grace, which was bestowed on me, was not in vain. A lot of brothers' grace, it goes for naught, man. And then they just spin up the oil, wash their hands, and they go back in the world, man. Don't let the grace of the Lord be bestowed on you in vain, man. That's off. Don't you know the Lord is giving you a gift? And a lot of brothers, they take that gift, they open it up, and then they on to the next gift of Babylon, man. The gift is immortality, everlasting life, man. To be redeemed and coming back to the truth. A lot of people, they don't care, man. It says, was not bestowed on me not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than they all, yet not I, but the grace of God which was in me. So you can't let the grace of the Lord be bestowed into you in vain, man. He woke you up. He called you. He gave you the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, and he gave you a willingly mind to serve him. Now, if you let the elements of this world and the suffering of this life sit you out, man, you will be a fool, man. Right? We got to literally examine ourselves every single day in this thing. And if you're not examining yourself every day, you're not going to make it. Well, I'm going to go to the book of Psalms, chapters 26 and verse 1. Right? This is what David did, man. It's the book of Psalms, right? Chapter 26 and verse number 1. And it reads, David said, judge me, O Yahweh, for I have walked in mine integrity. I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore I shall not slide. Examine me, O Lord. Right? And that's some deep words to say to the Most High, man. So David knew he was on fire. He knew he repented. He knew he washed himself. He knew he didn't walk in vanity of heart or all the temptation of the land, man. It says, examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart, for thy loving kindness is before mine eyes, and I have walked in thy truth. So, hey, man, if you can't say that, man, it's work to do, man. It's always something to do in this thing. You always need to read more. You always need to pray more. You need to show more brotherly love. And everybody in this truth can always work on charity, man, right? Because people don't do charity every day like they should, man. They may read every day. They may fast every other day or every week, or whatever case may be. But charity is a big part of this thing, man. Kick up ways in your mind where you can give, and whether that's teaching, that's charity. You understand? Helping brothers out and sisters out with counsel, that's charity. Giving a shirt off your back, that's charity. These are also ways, you understand, that you could take away blots off of your garment. Verse 4, it says, I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go right in with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. I washed my hands in innocency, so will I compass thine altar, O Lord. So that's the only way you could come before the Lord, do the work of the Lord, and be on fire in the Lord's temple, right? And the Lord being in your temple is by washing yourself and being in innocency in the last days.
God. You brothers, man, if you don't, and that this applies to us too, if we as a nation, as men of the Most High and daughters of Zion in this thing, if we don't remember how we fell and examine ourselves, the Lord will come on thee as a thief, man. And everybody knows what that means. Nobody expects a thief to come in their house. Nobody expects it, man. It just happens. And guess what? You're unprepared. You might be afraid. You might be at your wit's end. You got crust in your eyes. And before you know it, he kidnapped your son. And you're dead. You only have so much time. And now he has the element of surprise to his advantage. And you can't do nothing about that. Right? His strength lies in the element of surprise. And that's how he overthrows you, man. I had a precept in my mind. It just escaped me. Right? Most I wanted to come back.
So like, I want to make one quick point.
When
you go into the analytics, and you can look this up on your own. On Google, is what time do men normally fall asleep every night? And it says between 10 and 11 p.m. And then you look up when an average burglar enters into the house, and it says at 10 p.m. So right when you fall asleep, 10 p.m. to 3 in the morning. Like right when you fall asleep, the statistics is right when they breaking in. So the moment you shut your eyes is the moment the Lord going to visit you, man. I just wanted to look that up as far as thieves on a physical level.
Hey, that's an excellent point, man, because the Most High made those thieves. And the Lord, when he said, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee, that links directly up with the Most High destroying this place too, man. Because the Lord is destroying this place like a thief in the night. And the precept came back through the Spirit, all praises, Matthew 21, right? And 18 on down. That's what the Lord said. Give not thy, it says, a little folding of the hands, a little slumber, so shall thy poverty come to naught, and thy want as an armed man. Right to St. Matthew 21 and 18. Now in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon, but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. Right now, this actually happened. And I remember going to so-called school, and we had a theology class, and this verse came up, and they was like, well, nobody knows why the Lord curses fig tree. Right? It was this so-called teacher. She said, well, we don't know. Just leave that alone. That's the great mystery.
Right.
Right? That's the great mystery of the Lord. That's the mystery of Jesus. He don't know why he cursed the fig tree. And we know why he cursed the fig tree, man. You know, man is symbolic for the fig tree. And the fig tree doesn't expect for the Lord to pop up on him. Why would he? You know, the fig tree is inanimate. The fig tree has no brain to operate to know, okay, here comes the Lord. Let me push and grow this fruit. No, the Lord will come on you as a thief. And if you don't have no damn fruit, you only got leaves. Leave is you just know this thing. You have to understand it, right? But you don't have any works to prove it. The Lord will roll up on you like a thief in the night. Let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever. And the Lord, hey, when you hungry, you know, sometimes it's random. Your stomach might just start growling out of nowhere. You don't plan a schedule. Okay, I want to be hungry at 4 p.m. Okay, I feel like being hungry at 11. That's bugged out. You set schedules on when you think, no, it just happens. All of a sudden, you're hungry. Now you got to eat, man. And the Lord want to see what kind of fruit you got. And at any given second, the Lord could be hungry. This is parabolic. And if you don't have no fruit, guess what? He's going to curse you. So how does the Lord love everybody when he put up a curse on this tree? What did the tree do? He cursed the tree. And just like that, it withered away. Right? Meaning it slowly began to deteriorate. And the Most High will curse you, man. And slowly you start waxing worse and worse. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is the fig tree withered away? Yeah, like this brother, he was in his truth. Next time you see him, he's back in the world. What happened? The Most High took it away from him. Don't think everybody that falls out the truth, it has to happen over years. It can happen in a day. It can happen right now. One more quick point. The Lord told Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel 4:17 on down, he said, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it even the bases of men. And it says, and while the word was yet in Nebuchadnezzar's mouth, he turned to a wild beast, man. Let me actually get it. I want to paraphrase it. Right while Nebuchadnezzar spake in pride, soon as the word came out of his mouth, it was lights out, man. Right? This Daniel chapter 4 and 34. Actually, I want 30. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? So he spoke in pride. He sinned. This could be anything. This could be you. You didn't study and pray and read today. You turned on the TV. Soon as you press that power button, right? You're thinking about smoking. Soon as you went and got in a car to buy damn whatever to smoke, the Most High could take it away from you. Soon as you said, I don't really feel like reading today. While you sinned, as soon as it happens, it says, while the word was in the king's mouth, then he didn't even finish his sentence. There fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee. And that's scary right there, man. As soon as you utter your sin, the Most High says over for you. Lights out, just like that. Twinkle of an eye, you back in the world. The kingdom is gone. He didn't even finish his words. The Lord cut him off and said, it's over, king. You're living like a beast for 7 years. And I'm going to raise up somebody else. You know? And that can happen. The Lord set up Nebuchadnezzar and he took him out. You know? The Lord put you in this thing, he could take you out. The Lord brought us in this thing, he could take us out. So you better think about Nebuchadnezzar and all your and your forefathers when you about to go to hell off. Brothers got it.
Salah. Right, this is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 28. Right? It's 1 Samuel 15 and 28. It says, and Samuel said unto him, the Lord have rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and have given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. So the Lord could wrench your knowledge from you and give it to a brother that's more worthy in this thing, man. Because he wants it more. He's more sincere. He's not boastful about his works or things that he does. And he's not, for lack of better terms, of already have obtained. A lot of men, they get wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And they get puffed up to the max. And they feel like they've obtained, man. They start thinking and daydreaming, what if I'm the elect? What if everybody's right about me? What if this is true? And next thing you know, the brother fold his hands in Proverbs 24, and he get down, for lack of better terms, he rock himself to sleep, man.
Right.
And the Lord said he's better than thou. So you have a man, literally, that's not the king, right? On a low level, right? He's sitting up there. He's a herdsman over sheep, the most lowliest of man. That's not rich. That's not tall. That doesn't have people under him. He could be better than you, man. So don't think anything of materialistic things of what men may have or men view men to so-called be, that the Lord looks like carnally like man does, man. Because the Lord said in the book of 1 Samuel, right, chapter 16 and verse 7, right, 1 Samuel 16 and 7, it says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance. And a lot of men look at your garment, they look at your knowledge, they look at your mitri, how long it is, they look at your fringes, they see how tall you are, your beard. It says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or Salakia, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For a man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. And Samuel, for lack of better terms, we read verse 6. It says, and it came to pass when they would come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointed is before him. So Samuel, he's a spiritual man. And he's not an average man. And even he said, surely this is the man. But the Lord said, look, you know what? I'm not looking on the outward appearance. I'm not looking at the height of his stature or muscles or things that man may be looking at, man. I'm looking on the heart. I'm looking on the spirit. I'm looking on the inner man. You understand? That man is literally examining himself, making sure he's diligent, on fire, and loves his people.
That's an excellent point, man. So, and the Lord will roll up on you, man. He took it from Saul, and these are kings. Saul, you know how many brothers we can go into in the Bible and nations who the Most High just took it from them? Right, we can go all day, man. A list of people we went into that at camp the other day. Demas and all these men who the Most High put spirits on. And the Most High took them out of this thing. Right? The Lord said, Demas have forsaken me, having loved this present world. And he kept entertaining the thoughts of the world, so the Most High got rid of him. Right? The Most High can get rid of you with your thoughts, man. You know? But we can read on. This verse 4. Thou hast a few names in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, but they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. So the Most High, this applies to us too. You got certain brothers in this truth, they haven't defiled their garments. Right? They're doing their best, they're sincere. And their garments represent, right, this knowledge and this truth. Right? That's what your garment represents. Your covering for your nakedness. You got a lot of brothers, they are defiling their garments. How do you defile your garment? Right? Let's go to the book of Jude. Right? Let's go to Jude. Get this precept.
Yeah, precept after you.
A lot of brothers, you got stains in your garments. Right? We got brothers right now watching the live, they're looking at this shirt. What do you mean? Right? You know, I washed my clothes today. It was laundry day. Right? I have stains. Brother's not talking about your physical garment. It's talking about your spiritual garment. You know? This is Jude Chapter 1. And I'll start at, let's see. Boy, this whole chapter, man. Jude is one of my favorite books, man. It's so short, but it has so much. This let me see where I want. Let's see, Salakia. I'll start at, man, I'm gonna start at 12. I'll start at 12. This Jude 1 and 12. These are spots in your feast of charity. When they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear, clouds they are without water, carried about with winds, trees whose fruit withereth, without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the roots. So you have spots in this truth. You may have a feast of charity, meaning you have a sincere congregation of brothers, and then you have spots. You have blemishes, like in verse 23. And others say with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh. So how can your garment be defiled? By the works of the flesh, right? That's how you can defile your garment, by doing fleshly works. Brother, we see your carnal ways on your spirit, man. A lot of brothers, you have like back in the day, you know, we always use that example. Brothers used to wear them long white tees. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? If you was born in, I don't even know what year to give that, but everybody knows, man. If you was born after probably 97, you probably don't know, you know. But anytime before that, you probably know what I'm talking. Jake used to wear the long white tees and a headbands and a jersey or whatever. And if you got your white tee dirty, your day was over, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talking about, yeah. And your day was over, man. You know? And then you ironed that shirt out, you hung it up. You might have had your whatever, your forces or whatever. If you got that white tee dirty, it was over. And you might have had something, sometimes one more quick point. Sometimes you got a garment and you got a stain on it, but you really can't see it until you in a certain light. Like you might be in a, you know, a family house, whatever, and the lights are dim, but then you go outside and you can see that stain. So sometimes, you know, certain lights can bring about the your spots that you have in your garment. So you brothers, man, make sure your garment is spotless. You got it, King.
Similar to your room, right? Some jakes, they dim the lights to kind of hide the messiness, you know. And I was going to say in middle school, it was a Jake, you know, he kind of got his white shirt dirty, and everybody pointing at it because it's gonna show. Everybody's gonna see the stain in your garment, right? Eventually, all right. So don't think you can hide your, you know, your iniquity, because it's always gonna be revealed by the light. So this is Zechariah chapter 3, verse 5, and it reads, I'll start at verse 4. I'll start at 3. Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel. So he had filthy garments on. All right. And again, it's not really physical. All right. He didn't have a mustard stain and pomegranate juice on the back of his garment. It's not really physical. This is all spiritual. Verse 4. He answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with a change of raiment. And I said, let them set a fair mitre upon his head. And they set a fair mitre upon his head and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Lord stood by. Right? So now he had this nice, beautiful, and we know it's white. It's like it's a nice, beautiful white garment. You understand? Now, again, like the brother was saying, you can mess up your garments a variety of ways. Right? Another way is messing with these doctrines, right? Which is seen as a whore in the scriptures, you know? And that'll get your garment off filthy and real ugly. And what's next? Right? You're going to get mold in your garment.
Right.
And what likes mold? Moths. You trying to Google that, King Baba Shar? Do moths eat moldy clothes? I got a precept after that.
Yeah, that's in the Apocrypha. Right? Moths, this is from Google. You can look this up on your own. From UK entomology. Entomology, that's the study of insects. So it says clothes, moths are pests that can destroy fabric and other materials. They feed excessively. Hey, man, I want to touch on this point, man. On animal fibers, especially wool, fur, silk, feathers, felt, and leather. These materials contain keratin, a fibrous protein that the worm-like larvae of the clothes moths can digest.
Now it's another one. I googled it on Bing, and it pops up. It's really what I wanted, but nonetheless, that was an excellent search up too. Now this is the one on Bing. Ooh, that's nasty. Their caterpillars seem to prefer dark places. Right, caterpillars seem to prefer dark places and feed on fungi, rotting wood, feathers, and so on and so forth. And it says cloths most seem to do particularly well in unwashed clothes that hold some moisture and might have some fungal growth. So when you smoking weed, right, you're not reading, right, you're not doing what you should be doing to keep your garments nice and white and clean, then it's going to get dirty over time, and then your garment will be moth-eaten. And this is the other precept that I wanted in James chapter 5, verse 2. And it reads,
I'll find this precept.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's James chapter 5, verse 2. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. So you don't want to be that, that man that has his garments moth-eaten. You're going to get jammed up. You got leprosy in your garments, pursuing Leviticus.
I was about to get that. That was my next precept.
God. Now you leopard. Now you moving in the way of the white man, so-called white man. Because so-called white man, he's a clean leopard, nonetheless, he's still a leopard, right? And then his clothes is leprosy, and his house is leprosy, and his mind is leopard. He's left. He's so far left that he can't get right. You got it.
And I actually want to get that in the law, right? Let me get that in Leviticus chapter 13. You can have leprosy in your garments, right? Which is kind of equivalent to mildew or mold or, something of that nature. So it's not, and I believe y'all did a Sabbath service on it, on the 4 types of leprosy. So the brothers actually went into it.
God.
You got leprosy of the skin. You can have leprosy in your house, on your garment. You can have leprosy in your hair. You have different types of leprosy, and they all mean different things when you go into it. So you got to study that law. This Leviticus 13 and 47. The garment also that the plague of leprosy is in, whether it be a woolen garment or a linen garment, whether it be in a warp or woof of linen or of woolen, whether in a skin or anything made of skin. And if the plague be greenish or reddish in the garment. Now this is literal. You might have clothes or something. You might see that them spots on it, them black mildew spots, right? Well, if you don't know, all right, I'm sure every Jake you've experienced this, right? It might be yellow, it might be black, it might be green. Let's pull this up. And everything we teaching you, telling you carnally, think about it spiritually. We're not just doing this for no reason. See, this is mildew on clothes. This happens over time, man. And this really happens with carelessness. Right? If you're careless and you're not really watching over your garment and make sure you take it out the wet environment and dry it, or this will happen. Now, this doesn't happen to a diligent guy. A diligent man who's constantly, iron them out, he clean his clothes, he keep his garment fresh. This doesn't happen. This happens to the careless and the slothful. Now you got to work to get all this mildew out your garment, right? So this happens on a spiritual level, man. If you're slothful, go ahead, King.
No, Sloth, go ahead.
No, go ahead, make your point.
I was going to say we had a house in Baltimore one day, or in the past, and it kind of got flooded, and all those clothes it looked like this. This is how the clothes looked. It was real moldy and it was filthy. A lot of this stuff you can't clean off,
Yep.
Especially according to the law. You can't. You can probably get it off, but it won't be clean in the eyes of the Lord. You gotta burn it and kind of go back. You gotta burn it and just get some new clothes. When your garment is kind of filthy and kind of moldy, you gotta start over. You gotta get, first of all, you gotta get in the shower, not because you're dirty, because clothes is touching you and it's moldy and it's moth eating. You gotta take it off, get in the shower, which is the scriptures, wash up, and then put on the another garment.
Yeah, this thing gets deep. This is spiritual, man. Now I want to go back to the law, right? This Leviticus 13 and 49. And if the plague be greenish or reddish in the garment. So you got certain brothers who got greenish and reddish in their garment, meaning they entertain in the world. They might be dealing with masturbation. They might be dealing with strippers and prostitutes. You got women, they might be hanging out with worldly girlfriends. They might be slothful. These are spots and stains in a spiritual garment, right? Or in the skin, either in the wart or in the woof, or in anything of the skin, it is a plague of leprosy and shall be showed unto the priest. So the priest will see it, man. You can't hide this. You have to, the Lord will see everything that you do, man. Now it says, and the priest shall look on the plague and shut up it that hath the plague 7 days. You see that? Now the Most High, think about this on a spiritual level. The Most High will shut you up, man. When you're dealing with leprosy, you're not allowed in the congregation. You're cut off for a period of time until this thing goes away. If it goes away, well, but if not, there's further steps that have to be implemented. So even on a spiritual level, if you got leprosy in your garment, if you slothful, if you lazy, if you lukewarm, if you going off, at the Most High, He's going to shut you up, right? He might put some spirits on you. He might afflict you. You might deal with judgment until you get rid of that plague. That plague could be you want to smoke weed, right? The Most High will shut you up until you get rid of that lust demon. He'll shut up your mind. He can shut up your mind. He can seal up that door, and now no more wisdom is coming in. He can seal up your understanding, and now you will never grow again until you get rid of this plague. It says, and he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague be spread in the garment, because a lot of brothers, they wax worse, right? And the Most High will shut you up, and then it wax worse, man. You go from smoking weed, now you're doing crack. You go from not reading, now you're not praying. Here the Lord then shuts you up and judging you and afflicting you, but you just waxing worse, man. So your plague is spread. It might spread to another brother. I believe fruit does that, man. Don't if you put two pieces of moldy fruit together and kind of get contaminated?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
let me pull that up, man.
That's I've seen that on Instagram too.
I don't know how to really type that in, but brothers, maybe you could look that up on your own, right? If you have mold on fruit and you put it next to other fruit, it'll spread and contaminate that, man. Let me see if we can get an image of that. Look at this, right? Or this. If you have pieces of fruit, and then you have it right here. How to control mold. See, this one was cool until it started dealing with this. Now you gotta think about this, man. This could be you and your righteousness, and you hanging around spirits and demons. You're liable to get infected. It's unavoidable. That's Sirach chapter 13 and 1, man. He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. Because sometimes that leprosy is spread. This strawberry is over. It's no returning back. And it's only a matter of time before it falls off. And this strawberry, if it don't get away, which is looking like it's too late, it's contaminated. So sometimes the Most High will shut up a man, but he'll wax worse and it'll spread like cancer. Now, it says, going back to the law, and he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague be spread in a garment, either in a wart or in a woof or in the skin or in any work that is made of skin, the plague is a fretting leprosy. It is unclean. He shall therefore burn that garment. So the Most High, he'll burn that, take that from you, man, because now you're unclean. He'll burn and take away this truth from you. He'll burn and take away this knowledge from you, because you had a time period to get right. You had a time period to get cleansed, like the brother said, to get rid of that garment, wash yourself, put a new garment on. But you kept that old garment on. You kept that sin with you. You didn't examine yourself. You saw the mold growing and you said it's not that bad. You saw the mildew spots. And let me say this. You gotta be nasty as hell to put on a shirt with mildew on it. I mean, it stinks. You know what I'm saying? It's it's damn infected. That's leprosy. So the Most High gotta burn you and get rid of you. It says, whether in the warp or in the woof, meaning in any part of the garment, the thread, it could be the stitching, and woolen or on linen, or anything of skin, wherein the plague is, for it is a fretting leprosy, meaning it will spread. It shall be burnt in the fire. That's the only way to get rid of you, man. Because the Most High can't do nothing with you. Because you're defiled, you're contaminated. Your garment is defiled, so now the Most High gotta burn you in the damn fire. You had 7 days to get right. He shut you up. You didn't examine yourself and take the garment off. Now you got to get burnt by fire. That's the law. These laws are spiritual. That's Romans 7:14. You know, Yardan always going to the leprosy with the stones in the houses. That's why it's important to stay in the law, because this thing applies to us, man. You got it, Yardan.
I was going to say, to be realistic too, in an ancient world, Jake didn't want to throw away everything.
Right.
Jake had a garment that they bought for like 40 shekels of gold, whatever the case is. They didn't want to throw it away.
Yeah.
So what they'd probably do is probably cut it out and then probably stitched on another garment, or another piece of the garment. You say, hold on. Don't touch that one. That one's clean. Kind of hiding it. And on a spiritual level, hey, Jake, you do that with things that you're trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? You're trying to,
what, like hide your iniquity?
Yeah, you're trying to hide your iniquity and continue to do the same wickedness. You're trying to find some means to justify it. It's not that bad.
Right.
Oh, the pork not that bad. Remember, it got protein too. Brother, you got to stain your garment. Are you trying to, make your garment look clean when it's clearly filthy? You're trying to trim your waist for love. Jake was off, man. We have reason to believe that Jake was hiding, a lot of their garments. When the priest came in, he was just hiding stuff.
Yeah.
Even if your house is leprosy, Jake, they seeing the Levites pull out the bricks.
Right.
And Jake kind of said, "Oh no, don't pull that one. You're gonna break my house." Jake kind of loses their mind. The baby's crying now. Eve trying to hold him back. You gotta let them do their job. And the Levites just shaking their head,
Yeah.
And he's seeing all that dust kind of fly because, you got to take the dust and kind of cast it without too.
Yeah.
So, Jake, a lot of Jake, they like that leprosy. You love it. Yeah. You like it in your garment and you like it in your house. So when we told Jake, you got to, get your house in order, you got to find that mold and kind of cast it without,
That's right. And
I got a precept up to you.
Okay, I want to get this quick precept, man. So this garment, these laws run deep, man. Right? The law is important, man. Right? Because it teaches you all things. Now, this adds to what Yardan was saying. This you had a man in the book of Joshua. He stole and hid a Babylonian garment. Now he did that literally. A lot of brothers, you do that spiritually. You take a Babylonian garment and you hide it with your stuff. He said he hid it amongst his stuff. Right? So you might have a secret doctrine, some secret sin, and you hide it amongst your your righteousness, you know. And what happened to that man, right? Hey, guess what? They stoned that man and they burnt him with fire. And not just him, his whole house fell apart. They stoned his animals, his wife, and his children. And they burnt them all with fire. And we're still talking about him to this day. So you brothers, don't be stealing Babylonian garments, taking doctrines and ways of America and hiding it, like the brother was saying. This quick precept, this St. Matthew 9:16. No man putteth a piece of new cloth into an old garment. For that which is put in to fill it up, taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. And that's plain. There's no way that a brother would buy a new Passover garment. Then he got his old work clothes. He work in the warehouse, and he starts cutting off pieces off his beautiful Passover garment and stitching it to his old garment. Take his old garment, start stitching it to his Passover garment. Then he put them both on at the same damn time. I mean, you have made your garment worse. You have taken the value of your garment and made it worthless. That's what you do when you take Christianity, Catholicism, old works of the world, and try to mix it with this truth. So you have to keep your new garment new and get rid of your old garment. That's plain. You got it, King.
Come. What? That was the spirit. I was about to pull that. Right? We can go to Song of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse number 3. Right? And that's why I love the law, man, because something so simple to the unlearned or to somebody that not seeing it deeper can jump into an in-depth breakdown, man. You could break down anything in the scriptures. I mean, anything, any line, any precept, it could go into a whole breakdown. This Song of Solomon 5 and 3. I put off my old coat. Right? You put your old man off, man. Nobody's putting on that dirty coat of cigarettes and damn weed and drunkenness, partying and folly and suffeting and all of this folly, man, and vanity. I've put off my old coat. How shall I put it on? I have washed my feet. How shall I defile them? Right? So you washed yourself in this thing. How you gonna go back and defile yourself, man? That's off. When you go to the law for the ordinance of the priest in the book of Exodus, chapter 40 and verse number 12. Exodus chapter 40 and verse 12. And they had to wash themselves, man, before they put the garment on. They wasn't just dirty and stinky and they had their old and they put something on top of it. No, they had to literally, it was ordinances in this thing. This Exodus chapter 40 and verse 12. And it reads, and thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation and wash them with water. Right? So when we come before to do the office of the Lord, you understand, to work in the temple, and we got to wash ourselves, man. Nobody can just pick up the words of the Lord and start doing the work. You haven't washed yourself. You haven't repented. You haven't became a new man. All of this is spiritual because we're priests, man. It says what? And thou shalt put upon Aaron the holy garments and anoint him and sanctify him that he may minister unto meat in the priest's office. So you can't do the work of the Lord unless you change your garment, man. You can't do the work of the Lord unless you wash yourself. So you men, you understand that say you in this truth, if you haven't repented, repented every single day is a washing. You have to repent every day. You have to be baptized every day. Stop thinking it's a one-time thing. This isn't Christianity, man. You don't just say, you know what, I repent for all of my evil doings, and now you're on the road to righteousness forevermore, and it's a sun and it's a sunset, and you're walking up this hill, man, and all of the birds are chirping. It doesn't happen like that. You wash yourself every single day. So if you're defiled and you got blots on your garment, how can you be a priest? How can you do the work of the Lord? Because every day you have to wash yourself. It isn't like the priests washed themselves one time and it was a wash one time pass. And then let me see you wash one time pass. Then they flashed it. Then they went in. Right? This is not a Sam Club card, man. They had to wash themselves all the time. You understand? Before they went in to do the work of the Lord. Now, when we do the work of the Lord, we read, we pray, we pass out flyers, we teach, we go out in the highways and byways, we give counsel. How can we do those things and call ourselves priests and do the work of the Lord and we still what? Are filthy. And that's with our garments and on physical level, washing ourselves with our conscience. So all of these things are spiritual. You have to be in the law to understand these things.
And I got a quick precept. in Song of Solomon, chapter 4 and 10. Right? The Song of Solomon, chapter 4 and 10. It reads, to add to your garment, it reads, how fair is thy love, my sister, my spouse? How much better is thy love, Slucky? How much better is thy love than wine? And the smell of thy ointments in all spices. Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as a honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. So you even have to make sure your garments, this is spiritual, this is dealing with, on one level, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but also on a deeper level, the nation of Israel or the bride. So you want to make sure even the garments that you put on have a beautiful smell, man. No man, if we're the bride, I don't know any brother who like a funky, stinking woman, man. She walking around, she kind of stinking up the joint. You know, she don't bathe. Hey, the king in Esther, he had the woman bathe 6 months and oils, man. And then 6 months for the purification. So no man likes a woman that she walk in and you got to do this. You know? How much more Yahweh Shai, man? The Lord expects us as a woman to smell or have our garments smelling like the smell of Lebanon. You understand? And on a spiritual level, Salakia, Lebanon is always being used to refer on a poetic level as the beautiful land or the glorious land or the land of Israel. So we smell like our land, meaning we are keeping our heritage. We're keeping the commandments. We know the truth. We believe in Yahweh Shai. We don't smell like the land of Edom. You know, we don't, like the Lord said in Job 24, they're wet with the showers of the mountains. And you know how Esau smelled, his garments smell like a field. That's Genesis 27. Let me get that real quick. It's at Genesis 27. Isaac said, my son smells like the smell of a field. I mean, he smells like the world on a spiritual level. You don't want to smell like the world, man. You got your garment on, but you stink. Right? This Genesis, it's like your 27 and in verse 27. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord had blessed. Right? So you don't want to smell like a field in this thing. Like the brother said, you washed yourself, you got your garment on, but now your garment stink. You know, it's tainted. It's polluted. You know? And your parents heard it. They say, hey, look, you smell like outside. You might have been a kid playing around or something. Yeah. They say, look, you smell outside. Take a shower. You know? So you got to make sure that your smell is even appropriate for the Lord, man. Women do that. On their wedding day, they spray the perfume down there. They kind of hook themselves up, you know, because it's one thing to look righteous, but it's another thing. You got to have this whole thing figured out as a bride. You know, that's all I had.
And another thing, a brother seen a movie, so-called Pootie Tang. You had Dirty D, man. He was running around with a nasty garment on, man. Damn raccoon fur and stinking up the joint, and it was all type of dust flying when the brother was talking. He spit out his mouth. It was a sand, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to be Dirty D on a spiritual level, man. You got to be on fire in this thing and washing yourself constantly. Let me bring out this precept, right? Let me bring this up. It's the book of Titus, chapter 3 and verse number 5, right? It's the book of Titus, chapter 3 and verse number 5, and it reads, not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to his mercy, he saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Ghost. So the Lord saved us, man. You understand, from that old life we used to live, man. He literally saved us. Because if he didn't, hey, man, we would probably be dead. We'd be locked up, in jail, confused. A lot of brothers, God forbid, on his life, they would be in drugs, right? They'll be in all manner of confusion in the clubs. And the Lord washed that old understanding away from us. and clothed us, you understand, with spiritual garments. And just because you can't see these spiritual things doesn't take away from that they're real or alive, man. Don't be carnal in this thing. Just because you can't see an angel in your room, or can't see your spiritual garment on, or can't see the things that brothers are breaking down through the spirit, that's what makes the Bible so spiritual, man. That's why the Lord said in 2nd Esdras, let me get this, 2nd Esdras, chapter 1 and verse 37, right? 2nd Esdras chapter 1 and verse 37. It says, I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, you may not see the spiritual garment. You may not know your spiritual priest. You may not even know, you understand, you're doing the work like the men of the Lord did in the temple. You may not see all of these things. They said with bodily eyes. Yet in spirit, they believe the things that I say. That's why you have to be spiritual in this thing, man. Because those Sadducees, they were very carnal men. They didn't believe in the resurrection. They didn't believe in the spirits and the angels and things like that, man. You don't want to be just, okay, well, if I can't see it, or I read it, and this is all that I get from it, how can you on a deeper level perceive all of double to that which is in the spirit of the Lord, man? That's why we have to, for lack of better terms, as much as we can, pray for discernment, grace, and mercy, and be taking notes and asking the Lord and crying out for more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because the more you know, the more you can be able, for lack of better terms, to wash yourself. Because the less you know, the more important and the more serious you'll take the truth. A lot of people, when they come into the truth, they may come in, they'll be in this thing for a month or 3 weeks. They'll still be smoking, man. They can't perceive the times we're living in, how we're almost damn home, man. All hell could break loose at any given moment. They don't perceive that the Lord can take them out. They don't perceive that you're playing with grace and mercy. But as you grow in this thing, as you wash in the Lord imputes unto you more and more knowledge, the more serious and stern and mighty you become on the humblest of levels, man. That's why we see things on a spiritual level that a lot of people can't see. Not because of ourselves, it's the grace and mercy that the Lord gave unto us. Why? Because we're searching diligently in the scriptures to uncover those things, man. Right, when you go to the book of Numbers, chapter 4 and verse 5. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 4. Right? 4 and verse 5. It reads, I'm going to start at 4. It says, this shall be the service of the sons of Karthu and the tabernacle of the congregation about the most holy things. So this is the ordinances for one of Aaron's, you understand, sons. And when the camp setteth forth, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it. So, hey, man, why do they have a covering veil over the ark? There's certain things in these scriptures that are covered that men can't understand or perceive. Stop just thinking they just covered the ark. It was just shiny. It was too shiny, and they needed sunglasses on, so they had to cover it up, man. Everybody can't see everything. It's a blessing that we could perceive these words, understand that something so, for lack of better terms, plain, right, could be so deep and spiritual. Because you read, well, you cover the most holy things. You keep reading, and now you get to the end of the chapter, not even knowing, hey, man, this thing getting deep. Why did they cover? Why specifically only these men of Aaron's lineage could do these things? Why were they covered, and why could they uncover them and nobody else? So you got certain men on the earth on a deeper level, predestined from the Lord, that can uncover certain things in the scriptures, man. Because on a deeper level, look, you got Numbers. That may be, for lack of a better term, seen to a lot of men. Then you have Daniel. It may be something over Daniel in a couple of those chapters. Ezekiel. And you got certain men they can see, and they pulling back veils, man. It says, and when the camp setteth forth, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and cover the ark of testimony right with it. So that's spiritual in itself, man. So you got to be thankful for the Lord that the Lord gave you discernment and understanding to be able to perceive things that other men think are simple that they look right over.
And when you go into this law, you know, these men have to be trained up in this thing, man. You couldn't just say, oh, here it is, verse 3. It says, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. So to add to what the brother was saying, these men have to be trained up in this thing, man. like the brother was saying, you can't just do the work of the Most High. A lot of these priests, the Lord has to call you at a certain time. It said 30 years old until 50, right? And then when you go, I believe in Numbers, the 8th chapter, it speaks about 25, right? So you have years of apprenticeship that these Levites had to do to even build themselves up to do these spiritual things. So you got to be taught. That's the point. Right? You got to be trained up in this thing, man. You know? You got something else, or you want to go back to Revelation?
You can go back to Revelation.
Come. So you brothers, man, Revelation 3 and 4. Thou hast a few names, even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. Right? So you want to be one of the brothers that walk with the Lord in white. White is symbolic for righteousness. Right? That's what that means. That's Revelation. Quick precept on that. Let me get a quick precept just to prove that. Right? Let's go to Revelation 19 and 7. All right, quick precept. That's what white is symbolic for. So these waters run deep, man. It's Revelation 19 and 7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. So this is the bride marriage between Yahweh Shai and the elect, the church. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. See that? So that white is symbolic for your purity and righteousness. Let's go back to Revelation 3 and 5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Now, brothers want to touch on this?
He that have an ear?
Or 5? Or y'all want... The Lord, well, let me make this quick point. Hey, the Lord could blot out your name. Your name might be in there. It might have, and it's not Tyrone Jenkins, or Keisha Jones, or Leroy Cunningham. You know, the Lord got your actual name. Everything is named by the Most High. Even the stars are named. So it got your name in there. But the Most High, he could take that, what is that, white out, and kind of just blot that thing out. Not that he has actual white out, but he can blot out your name. You won't even know that your name is blotted out. You just in this thing, kind of, I'm still here, and your name is blotted out, brother. Because guess what? You just committed adultery last week, man. And then you keep abusing the grace of the Most High, so the Lord blotted out your name. In this book of life, it's a record and a divine record of who you are, what you have done, and it has everything about you. That's what a so-called white man, he tries to have his book of life. He has a profile on everybody. All right, let's pull up his profile. And they got your height, they got your weight, they got your blood type, they got your if you're an organ donor, you got your thumbprint in there, they got everything. He tries to have his own book of life. He pulls up all of the records. Says, well, according to your records, you have prior criminal offense, you're guilty. That's his so-called book of life, which is really a book of injustice. Hey, the Most High got a book of life, man, with your name and everything and all of your works. You know, I got a quick precept.
Quick point. They say that too in TV shows where they catch the perp and they say, we know everything about you. Or they just say, Thomas Davidson, born 19, they act like they know everything about you, like they're the Most High. You did this, you did well in school, but you did this. You're trying to be the Most High.
They know your records. If you had a damn what grade you got in elementary school English, man. You got certain jobs still looking at your history from what your grades were in middle school. People are looking at they have all of these records. They even got your damn skeletal structure. They might have an x-ray of you. Yep. That's his clavicle right there, and that's his. These devils have everything, man.
Dental records too.
Yeah, dental records. It's not too much how big you got to get a physical. They measuring your big toe. Okay, his big toe. Then he did this. And one more point. There's this movie called The Game. I'm not sure if brother saw that, but they have these tests. These devils had this a series of tests that they gave this guy. I can't remember the guy's name who played it. It's an old Edomite guy.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, the water. Now, in that movie, I'm not going to tell you the whole movie. It's spiritual. You check it out on your own. But they gave this guy a series of tests. So they gave him a bunch of questions. And as he answered the questions, these devils, they were able to analyze his entire life. Like his fears, what he would do in a situation, what type of woman he was attracted to. So they figured everything out about this guy, man. And they played his life according to his fears and according to what type of man he was. So these devils, they try to keep their own record. But, I want to make this quick point. This Psalms 139 at 14. It reads, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret, and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Meaning the Most High sees you when your mother and father have laid down together, and that one sperm thing, whatever, hit the egg. And then you have that, whatever Esau calls a reaction, and then the impregnated, and then you form an embryo. The Most High is recording you. It says, thine eyes did see my substance, yet being imperfect. So don't think the Most High sees you when you're born. This is a cut to people who say, well, life begins. I believe these pro-abortion people, they say, well, if the baby is 6 months old, he's not really a baby. You can abort it. Life begins outside of the womb. Well, according to the Most High, you're alive even in your imperfect embryonic stage, when you're a fetus. It reads, and in thy book, all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. So the Most High has all your members recorded, man. How many hair follicles you got? How many pores you have? How wide your shoulders are? How you were spinning in the womb when you kicked your mother in the womb, right? And she said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, the Lord, he recorded that thing, man. So you can't hide from the Lord. That's all I want. That's in these books, these records. You got it, King.
Come. Hey, that's a mean precept, man. And how can you buck up against that, man? That's plain, man.
Yeah.
Right, that's plain. This is Isaiah chapter 40, right? And verse number 26. Because the Lord, he has everything down to a T, man. Every you know how much grass it is on earth, man? It's all counted. All of the dirt. You understand? The sand. Everything is counted, man. Everything. It's Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 26. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold, who have created these things that bringeth out their hosts by number. So the Lord got an innumerable amount of angels, but yet he done named each one of the angels, man.
Yeah.
We can't even fathom what an innumerable amount is, man. Hey, guess what? You go to a beach and you pick up a handful of sand and try to count each one of those gravels. You'll be there all night, man. You'll be there all next week. How much more the whole sand of the whole beach? And sand doesn't just stop at the shore. It goes down into the ocean.
Right.
All the way to the bottom. Can nobody count the sand, man? And that's an innumerable amount. How much more these angels? It's not just the ones you read about. It's not just Uriel and Gabriel and Raphael and Michael the archangel. And then that's it. Cherubims, the cherubims, right? The four beasts, angel that stand in the sun, right? And you say, okay, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's trying to count. Maybe that's a spiritual number. No, he has an innumerable amount, man. And he done named each one of them. It says, he calleth them all by their names, by the greatness of his might. For he that is Shlaki, for or that he is strong in power, not one faileth. And we can't even imagine that type of memory, man. Because it's even it confounds me every day that me and my brothers remember these precepts out there, man. Somebody could come up saying, you know what did the Lord do, and blah blah, whatever the case may be. Brothers will pull a precept. That's not us, that's the Lord. And we're mortal men. You understand, with a memory. Now, there's only so much we can remember. The Lord knows everything about every soul on earth. All your atrocities, all your crimes, everything you did in your past life. Like the brother said, the hair on your head, right? Even the angels. Everything is numbered. And the Lord, for lack of better term, I want to get another precept. Right? The Lord don't forget nothing, man. Right? And you go to the book of Psalms, chapter 147, and verse, right, 4. 147 to 4. So not only does the Lord number all of the angels, but he also numbers all of the stars, man. And the Lord said if the number of stars could be in a book, right, Salak, I'm going to get this real fast. You don't got to get it, King. But I wanted to get this real fast. This is Genesis 15:5. And he brought them forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. So you can't number the stars. It said, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thou see be. So no man can number the stars. You're not going to just look at the stars and count and number the stars. It's impossible. So the Lord said in Psalm chapter 147 and 4, he telleth the number of the stars, he calleth them all by their names. So everything is specific, and everything has a name, everything has a height, everything has a width, and everything is predestined, and everything is in order with the Lord, man. And the Lord said, let all things be done decency and in order. And when I hear that precept, I think much more on a deeper level than just, holding camp and everybody being in their rank, and everybody marching. You understand? Nobody breaking their rank. It's deeper than that, man. Everything got to be done in order. If a clock is just a little bit off on its organisms or mechanics, and the whole thing could cripple over, and then it'll stop working. If one thing is off in your house, it could overthrow your whole household, man. If one thing is off, you have all the fruit to the spirit, but one that could overthrow the whole fruit of the tree, man. So these things are spiritual. We have to understand how deep the Lord is, man.
And
we got a precept.
Con.
Going back to Revelation, I believe it's 3 and 5.
It's lucky.
You got a point? It's lucky.
Oh yeah, I had a precept.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, this Psalms 56. I believe it was 56 and 7. If I'm not mistaken. Right, this Slakia 50. This is 57. Oh, Slakia, that was at 56 and 7. Slakia, I had it right. Right, let me get this in Psalms chapter 56 and verse 7. It reads, dealing with like the brother said, the Most High sees everything. You can't hide from the Most High, man. Right? Anything you do is being recorded. Psalm chapter 56 and 7. Shall the anger cast down the people, O God? You can't escape, right? Thou tellest my wanderings, put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? So the Most High knows every step you take. That's Job. You read that in Job, I believe the 31st chapter, man. Literally, Esau, he creates a pedometer. Okay, you walk 10 miles today. Very good, right? Okay, you walk 10 steps today. No, the Most High knows that, man. All of every step you take. And it even says, put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? So every teardrop of oppression, every time you're upset, you cry, you might have got somebody committed adultery, or you might have got fired from a job, or you might have got beat up. Esau might have lynched your father, and these teardrops hit the ground. Hey, the Most High, that he's not just whatever, that's just a tear. No, the angel sees that thing. That's one teardrop, 2, 3, 4, and those are witnesses to testify that this place got to be destroyed, man. You know how many teardrops are recorded in the soil? How many blood drops? The Lord said, for blood defileth the land. You know, so the blood drops, the teardrops, all of these things are being recorded by the Most High. It says, put them in your bottle. So the Most High has an account. That's what this is saying. Not that the Lord got like a Coke bottle up there and he got a label and it says tears. And he's sitting there swirling it around. No, it means the Most High has an account and a record of all of the oppression and all of the blood and all of the tears and all of the sweat of your forefathers. And David knew about it. He said, look, it's in your book, man. Right? Are they not in thy book? When I cry unto thee, then shall my enemies turn back. This I know, for the Most High is for me. So you have to have confidence in the Lord, man. Everything that you're dealing with, any affliction, tribulation, stress, thoughts of sadness, and the Most High is with you. He's for you, and everything's recorded. And the Most High is going to render unto everybody who mistreated you, oppressed you, had their foot on your neck. He's going to render to every man according to their works, because on Judgment Day, all of these tears and blood and shit that was shed is going to be answered for, huh? You know, that's one more quick precept. That's Joel, the 3rd chapter. One more real quick. This is Joel 3 and 20. I believe that's what I want. Right? This is Joel 3 and 20. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. So all of the cries and the blood that was shed is finally going to be uncovered and finally cleansed in that day. You know, brothers got it.
Well, I want to Second Esdras, chapter 5.
Yardan, did you add something?
Yeah, real quick. It's like real quick. It's Revelation 3 and 5.
You might be on mute if you're speaking.
Can brothers hear me?
Can't I hear you?
Okay.
All right, we can go back. Brothers. Fuck yeah.
Can you hear me, King?
It say he that
You got
overcometh.
something to write?
Yeah, I got something at the yard down.
He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in a white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, because the Lord has power to do that. The Lord can, actually do whatever he want to do. Sometimes Jake forget that. It's Isaiah 43 and 20. It's like Isaiah 43 and 25. I, even I, am he that blotteth out thy transgressions for mine own sake, and will not remember thy sins. So the Lord can definitely do that, So let me read that one more time in Revelation 3 and 5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life. Right? Another precept to let you know that there is a book of life. This is even from the so-called Old Testament, 30. Where you go? Exodus 32 and 32. It reads, Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written. So even Moses knew that there was a book of life. Right? Now, he didn't go into a whole chapter explaining, the Lord also has a book of life up there. He didn't have to explain everything, right? And it tells us that in Second Esdras, I believe, 14th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. So back in Revelation 3 and 5, he that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, right? You're going to have that perpetual white raiment, and it's never going to get dirty, right? Because you overcame, and he's not going to blot your name out in the book of life. But I will confess his name before my Father and before his angel, right? Not really his government name, but everything that brothers can stand it for, right? He has a good name in the eyes of the Lord. And how will surely tell the Heavenly Father. You got it, King.
Well, I wanted to get Second Esdras chapter 5, right in verse 36. Second Esdras chapter 5 and 36. It says, And he said unto me, Number me the things that are not yet come. Gather me together the drops that are scattered abroad. Why did the Lord say, gather me together the drops? Because the Lord numbered them, huh? Every single drop that came down from the third heaven, the Lord said, look, number them. do it. You can't, man. You know how long rain stretches forth, man. Rain isn't just a rain cloud over your house, man. This is not a cartoon, right? Rain could be for 3 cities, man. So the Lord said, and he said unto me, number. Why is the Lord saying number? Because the Lord numbers everything, man. The hair on your head, the raindrops, even your skin, man, and the bumps on it. Everything is numbered. It says, me, the things that are not yet come. Gather me together, the drops that are scattered abroad. Make me the flowers green again that are withered. Open me the places that are closed, and bring me forth the winds that in them are shut up. Shew me the image of a voice, and then will I declare to thee the thing that thou laborest to know. Man. So the Lord, amen, he getting up with Ezra like he did Job. Certain things are too high for you that you can never obtain, nor never imagine, man. And in the book of Job, right, I want to get this real fast. The Lord got a treasury, man. Right? This is the book of Job, chapter 38, right? In verse 22. Job chapter 38 and 22. And it reads, hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of the hill, man? Hey, the Lord said in 2nd Esdras, you understand that he maketh a fair light come out of his treasures, man, to shine upon the work while he was making the creation. So these are the treasures and things that are too high for men to understand where the Lord is pulling things out of, man. So, hey, but the Lord is too deep, man. You'll bug yourself out trying to number things or try to obtain the amount of knowledge that's even on the earth, man. You can't even search out the knowledge that's on earth. How much more the things that are in the third heaven? You got it.
I want to make a. Can brothers hear me?
Come.
Yeah, I want to make a quick point. When it says, show me the image of a voice, Esau tries to do that, right? He makes these sound mechanisms where he measures the sound waves and tries to link things up. He can't do that, man.
Decibel meter.
Yeah, decibel meter. Hey, there's an actual image of a voice. You know, so you brothers stop trusting in the so-called white man. Well, Esau did that. No, he didn't do that, man. He tries to be the Most High, but he can't, you know? So, hey, the Most High knows what you're doing, and he will blot out your name out the book of life, right? But if you're righteous, he will confess his name. He will confess your name before the Father and before his angels. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Now, this is to Philadelphia. And unto the angel of the church in Philadelphia. It's not talking about Philly up in America. You might, brothers, what the hell? Philly? God, what the heck? No, it's talking about ancient Philadelphia. You know? And unto the angel of the church in Philadelphia, right? These things said he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. Meaning the Most High, through his son Yahushua, he can open up your mind, he can close your mind, he can open up you to bring you to the house of David, he can lock you out the house of David. The Most High can do these things, you know. It reads, I know thy works, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. So the Lord knows what you're doing, like we always bring out, and he has an open door before you. You have certain brothers, they can never fall out. No man can take this thing from you, man. Now, you don't know who you are. You can't say, yeah, that's me. Revelation 3 and 8, that's me. Brother, you don't know that, man. You know? You just have to continually be diligent to make your calling and election sure. You want to be the brother who has kept the Most High's word and has not denied his name. Those are the men who the Most High has an open door, meaning open access to the Heavenly Father and good grace, and no man can take him out of this thing. You know? It reads, right? It says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Right? So we know what that's going into. You got, we're not saying you don't have wicked Israelites, but you're not going to have Israelites bowing down before other Israelites, right? You have the so-called white man, and you have people who claim to be Jews. They're going to bow down before you. A lot of this stuff, some of this stuff is like Matthew 24. It's ancient times and it's also present times, right? Like the hour of temptation, right? This is talking about now. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And we could do it in that. We've done the breakdown on this. I believe we did a breakdown on the hour of temptation. You know, so that's going more so into Jacob's trouble. And the Most High will keep you from that thing, huh? Don't think when Jacob's trouble kick off, you're just going to drop dead. Oh boy, here's Jacob's trouble, and Esau just come and shoot you in the head. Oh, there we go. No, the Most High can keep you from these things, man. You know, the Most High can preserve you. When you read Job, the 5th chapter, the Most High said that death and or famine, death and destruction, thou shalt laugh. Imagine that all hell breaking loose, and you sit up there drinking a glass of wine, laughing. That's a heavy lot, man.
Yeah.
You and some. Let me get that real quick in Job 5. That's probably, man. That's one of the heaviest lots. You know, this Job. Hey, the Lord said in Ezra, 2nd Ezra 13, blessed are they that remain more than they that die, paraphrasing. So this is a heavy lot right here. This Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. So when all hell break loose, even in this life right now, don't expect just things to just befall you and there's no answer. You have troubles coming to you, but the Most High will deliver you. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. So a famine is coming. It's not something that can be avoided. This thing is inevitable, man. People are going to starve to death. There's not going to be food on in the grocery stores. Your refrigerator is going to grow empty. People are going to be breaking in houses for food. But there are certain men and women who's going to be delivered from that. You're not going to have to worry about that thing, man. Rather, the Most High has people teleport and give you food like Habakkuk, or the wild beast, they dropping off food to you. You know, and the Lord could do that. You can be somewhere in the wilderness and wild lions just come up and just give you food. So the Most High is going to protect you, man. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Here's the point. At destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. This is something that is hard to even imagine. For all of the hell coming to the earth, the Lord says certain men are going to be laughing in those days. Somewhere with your feet kicked up, drinking a glass of your favorite wine. You might have running water, hot shower, you know, garments that fit you. Put some oil on your beard, you know, Bibles there and notepads. You can take notes, and you're there. Then all of a sudden you see the chariots come. All right. Then you go outside to get beamed up. You know, that's not impossible, man. Not everybody's going to be going through the guillotine. Not everybody's going to, you know, be in a FEMA camp. Certain men are just going to be well off from now until they get beamed up. You know, brothers have something on that?
Con, I got something on that. All right. It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 27. Right? So that's a beautiful lot, man. That's extremely mighty through the spirit, man. Right? It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 27. Be not weary. And a lot of men are weary, man. They overthink too many things, man. They feel like they need a bug out bag. I can't believe that's a such thing, man. How can you have a bug out bag if it's prophesied that you wouldn't have anything, man? Literally, them that lay up things, hey, what you laying it up for? Other men are going to steal. Be breaking in your houses, right? All hell gonna be breaking loose. And even if you were to accumulate every canned good in your city, the Lord has said that you will be a pilgrim on the earth. So how would you be able to think that you will be able to carry all of those canned goods, man? It says what? Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, and best believe is coming, others shall weep and be sorrowful. Who are those others? The men that wasn't keeping the commandments, the men that were hypocrites, right? All of these different nations. Everybody's going to be weeping, and all hell's going to be breaking loose. It says, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. When you're merry, you're having fun. Yeah. Like in the book of Luke, man, about the prodigal son. They were made merry when he came back, man. They were turning up. So when that day, men are going to be merry, man. What happens when you're married? When you get married, you're married. And a feast day, you're married, right? When you see your children and y'all all together in the house and y'all reading together, everybody on fire. Y'all just came down off of a fast. Y'all order some food and everybody turning up. Hey, that's married, man. That's how you're going to be in that day. When everybody else is yelling, screaming, weeping, crying, beating on the door, right? All hell and whining, right? You're going to be married in that day, man. It's going to be a few amount of men. Don't prepare yourself to think that that's going to be you, man, right? As soon as all hell break loose, you're not taking shoes, right? You just got some flip-flops on, right? And a shovel in your hand. They just say, you know what, I'll be all right. No, it's going to be, man, hey, that may not be your lot, man. A lot of men are going to have to die in this truth, man. And if it be your lot, you got to be ready for your lot. Certain men, they're going to be married. Certain men, they're going to be put to death. A lot of men, they're going to die to famine. A lot of men, they're going to die from the sword. You don't know what lot the Lord going to put you in that day, man. But the Lord is going to be your guide. You read about that in 2nd Esdras, right, the 16th chapter. The Lord's going to be your guide. And what does a guide do? He shows you the direction to go in. Man. A lot of men like, you know what, I don't know if I should go this way. Should we have a meetup spot? Well, a meetup spot? Who are you? Hey, the Lord spoke about planning things for tomorrow, man. And that shows your lack of faith, man. I'm casting everything that I have into the Lord, man. If it be of his will, he'll save me. If not, Lord willing, I'm going to die a man of the Lord trying to keep and hold on to faith, man. If I don't make it. But I'll be damned if all of this reading, praying, fasting, and everything that I'm trying to obtain, I'll let go, man, by so-called losing faith in the last days. Because all of the men of the Lord, they had faith. Daniel, he had faith. Right? Song of the Three Holy Children, when you read that, hey, the men of the Lord had faith, man. Because to the naked eye, you would think that you're over and dead. You're gone. To be thrown into a furnace, you the men of the Lord. A lot of men will be thrown into a furnace, and they'll think as soon as they hear that, boom, the big iron door closed. Boom, like the shackles, right in the cage. Soon as the door closed, that this is it, man. And they'll peek their head out and say, okay, I thought the Lord would have delivered me. And then the thing get, engulfed and all hell break loose, and then it's a wrap. But they stayed true until that day of death, man. But they didn't die, man. The Lord delivered them. So your head could be in a guillotine. We bring that out all the time. You could be bounded up, shackled up, right? And you could be so-called given to the beast of the field, in the air. Hey, but the Lord will deliver you, man. And that shows true, for lack of better terms, faith, man. When you endure up to that state, not knowing whether you're going to die or not, and be ready to die in this thing rather than to live, man. Because if you save your life, right, you're going to lose it. And if you lose your life, you're going to gain it.
Huh. Yeah, your faith is supposed to. Huh?
You got it.
So like your faith is supposed to last longer than your bug out bag, right? Stop thinking your bug out bag is going to last longer than your faith. Because once you get done drinking all your water, right? You get done drinking your Pepsi, your flashlight lose energy. What else you got? Your knife get dull. Then what's next?
Run out of Q-tips.
Yeah, your Q-tips. You used all your Q-tips. Your ears is clean, right? Till forever, until they not. You run out of what else you got in your bug bag?
Rubbing alcohol,
toilet paper,
batteries.
Thing you clean your teeth with, flashlights, your brush, your sponge brush, whatever Jake got.
Yeah.
Yeah, your favorite pick that you picked your beard.
Yeah.
Hey.
A guide map.
Yeah, map.
A green
It's
book.
gonna be out of here. That old compass, it always give you the wrong direction. Now you
Uh,
always praying towards the north.
That nasty blue calculator you had in school.
Mm-hmm.
That
The
barely
one that
worked.
flipped down like a cell phone.
Yeah, you gotta kind of look down on it. Yeah.
So yeah, that's out of here, right? Yeah. Yeah, you know, you gotta have more faith in this thing.
Come on.
All right.
I want to get this precept in First Kings, man. So the Most High, you know, we can go all day how the Most High took care of his servants, man. Right? The Lord had a prophet feed other prophets in the cave. Right? I believe that was Obadiah, man. This First Kings chapter 18 and 13. Was it not told my Lord what I did when Jezebel slew the prophets of the Lord? And the days are coming where it's not going to be Jezebel, it's going to be Esau. He's going to slay the prophets of the Lord. And what did Obadiah do? How I hid 100 men of the Lord's prophets by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water. So they was taken care of, man. When affliction came down and the prophets was, and guess what? Elijah wasn't the only prophet. The Lord said, I got 7,000 men have not bowed down to Baal. You have other prophets in this thing. You know, they're not even known by name. But guess what? The Most High took care of them. Or you don't have to be some great man on the earth for the Most High to deal with you, man. These are righteous men. Nobody knows who they are, but the Lord took care of them because they believe. The Lord can put the spirit on another brother to have, and this brother, he starts, you know how much bread and water you need to feed 50 men or 100 men? And he had them coming in by 50 and ships and taking care of them, huh? You know, so this is the spirit of the Most High protecting his prophets. Brothers got it.
I want to get the classic, man. All right. And Exodus. Chapter 16. Right. In verse number 4. All right. Exodus chapter 16 and verse number 4. Right. And it reads, Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. You have a lot of men, they'll try to be like, well, I don't know if the Lord's going to come back. They get frantic. They start sweating, right? They start being double-minded, and they get more manna than they're supposed to get. And that's men right now, man. They'll get more substance or things of this life right now and not depend on the Lord to feed them in that day, man. Because they double-minded. Well, I don't know if the Lord dealing with me. Let me just make sure. That makes sure spirit. Who are you to make sure of anything, man? Everything is of the Lord. And the Lord can take your breath like that, man. You could choke, right? You could bug out, right? Hey, you can get in a car accident the next time you get in a car and be a vegetable, right? You could be stuck in a snowstorm, right? And a blizzard happen, and nobody finds you till the blizzard is over, and you'll be frozen to death. The Lord's the king of terrors, man. Hey, a lot of men, they fulfilling our wicked forefathers, man. It says, Then saith the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. And that's what the Lord's going to do, man. It could be physical bread that come down, right? An angel could come feed you. Out of a chariot, boom, bread. You understand? You could be walking in the wilderness and see a backpack. You open up the backpack, everything you need in it, man. Right? Or it could be a spirit on you just telling you, hey, look, man, move that rock. As soon as you move that big old rock, it's everything you need under it, man. The Lord can do anything. It says, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day. That shows faith and obedience. A lot of men, they're not going to gather that rate every day. You know what they're going to do? They're going to make sure that they straight. That's a nigga mentality. I'm going to be good. Let me make sure, right? Somebody not looking, or just for tomorrow. No, it ain't no just for tomorrow, man. You either believe the Lord is going to feed you or you're not, man. There ain't no I'm going to make sure I preserve these mashed potatoes and gravy. Then I got this, I got that. You know, I'm going to tuck that in the back of the fridge. And I'm going to cover it up with orange juice. It's a certain rate every day that I may prove them. So the Lord proves men in this thing, man. And when you get proved in that day, you can't say that I don't know I'm getting proved. You seeing these lessons, you reading these accounts, and the Lord visits you by night in dreams. He's gonna prove you whether they will walk in my law or no. And what's a part of the law? Having faith, man. This is the book of the law, man. And the Lord's gonna prove you in that day if you're gonna have faith in that when he visits you, man. And you're gonna be those men that are gathering, acting frantic, and doing everything to fulfill whatever desire they have on a fleshly level, getting carnal, beating men upside the head, taking backpacks, right? Eating unclean foods, right? Doing anything to survive, or you're gonna be that man that has faith when you're being proven from the Lord.
Huh. Hey man, you read 1 Samuel, you had the men that spoiled upon the spoils of war and ate the food with the blood in it, man.
I was reading that today.
And they went the hell off, man. What was that 1 Samuel 14? Let me get that. It might be 14 to 13, man. You had men that went off and they just started eating food with blood in it. Didn't wait on the Most High, had no faith. Right? I believe that's 1 Samuel 14, and I'll start at 20, I'll say at 31. 1 Samuel 14 and 31. And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Aijalon, and the people were very faint. And the people flew upon the spoil like madmen. Right? They didn't, okay, let's wait in line. And no, they were hungry after a battle. This isn't a week. This isn't more than a month. This is about a day or two, man, a day and a half. And what did they do? They took sheep and oxen and calves and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat them with blood. So we have a lot of people, they can't wait one day. It's the first day of the famine, and they eating food with blood in it. Well, it's really, I'm under grace. It's really not that bad. I mean, the Most High knows my heart. Then you turn to a Christian. This isn't even a week with no food. This is one day. They couldn't wait, and they ate the food with blood in it. Didn't even wait for it to be done. You see that? So you, brother, man, you got to have faith in the Most High, man. You can't have the first day. Now, the Most High is going to do what he wants to do at the end of the day anyway. But carnally speaking, you can't be the first week of the famine. There's no food in the show, and you looking at the damn, what's that, from Book of Eli? What did he eat, a cat?
He ate a cat.
A cat. And used the grease and gave it to an Edomite for an MP3 player or something, man. So he had a crossbow and he ate a cat. You can't just look at anything and get desperate. Because the Most High, you're gonna be starving for 5 days, and the Most High gonna have a damn raccoon pop up on you, and it don't move. That's the Most High pro. Are you gonna eat that raccoon? Are you gonna revert back to sin? Or are you gonna wait? A lot of brothers gonna look at that raccoon after 5 days without eating and say, well, I know the law says this, but my stomach says this. And the Most High gonna make it easy for you to catch that raccoon. It's not gonna be hard. You're gonna catch it easy so he can destroy you in that day, right? So you brothers, in the days to come, the Most High is gonna protect you.
Yeah. Jay gonna be like, that was easy.
Right.
Thank you, Lord. That was real easy.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he traded some so he have more batteries for his MP3 player. So, Jay, you gonna do some stuff just so you can, charge up your phone, right? Even though social media is down, where it's an EMP, you're gonna charge up your phone just so you can listen to damn Tupac one last time, looking through my rear view mirror, something like that. Jake, you carnal, man.
And I got a point out for you, y'all down. Come, right? Let me get this in Proverbs, the 7th chapter. Now, when this man was running around, lack of understanding, in the streets and the broad ways, he had everything he needed to destroy himself. Right? It's the book right, of Proverbs 7:14. And it reads, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet thee diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with the coverings of tapestry. So temptation gonna be mean in that day, man. Everything will be laid out, right? We all grown. You go into the room, got the flowers on the bed, right? You got candles, right? Whatever the case may be, you know, you use your imagination. You got everything you need just lined up perfectly, right? Like the brother said, you can see a raccoon, then you see an axe, right? Then you see a fire,
Right.
You see the logs. I mean, everything just lined up for you to go the hell off, man.
Right.
That's basically with this brother, lack of understanding. Everything's lined up. Like that one little domino you hit, just bing, and then all of the dominoes from there on out to destruction, man. It says, I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carven works of fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh and aloes and cinnamon. Come, let us take, right, our fill of love until the morning. Let us salute ourselves with love. For the good man is not at home. He is gone, right, a long journey. And that's going to be men's understanding in that day. Everything's going to be set up for you to go off. And it's going to be so easy for you to do it. Because you're going to be like, well, the Lord, he's on a long journey. I don't know. What do I do? And you're going to trip up and you're going to fall, man. And a lot of men have to understand all of this is temptation, man. Right? That's why Moses said, right, he'd rather, right, suffer than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, man. In the book of Hebrews. Is that 11 and 25? It's the book of Hebrews. So I could bear with me.
Come on.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 25. Choosing rather to suffer affliction. So a lot of men, they gotta love affliction in this thing. A lot of people, they don't love affliction. Soon as the kitchen get hot, they leave the kitchen, man. Instead of embracing the temperature and understanding that the Lord is turning it up, man. They say choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. And the pleasures of sin could be meat, right? It could be drink. It could be so-called comfortability under Esau's umbrella in a society. Those are the pleasures of sin, man. Gold, riches, wealth, right? All clothing, raiment, shelter. These things men are going to bow down to for nickels and pennies when they have riches in an innumerable amount in the kingdom of heaven.
Come. So we can go back to Revelation, the 3rd chapter, man. So the Most High, guess what? He can keep you from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Verse 11. Man, this 3rd chapter is so heavy, man. It's a mighty chapter. It reads, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Right? You have a crown on your head, and people are fighting to take it, man. Demons, your old damn co-worker, your so-called boss. It could be an ex that you was dealing with, the flesh. These spirits, they all have a left hand reaching for your crown. A lot of brothers, you say, okay, just take it off one time. I'm going to go do the lust of my flesh and put it back on. Though, if they take that crown, you're not going to see it again. Right? And you're going to be back in the world, man. A lot of brothers, you just take your crown off your head and go off. You know, that's wicked, man. Keep your crown. People are fighting to take your crown. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. So the Most High is going to establish you as a pillar in the kingdom, meaning you'll be one of the brothers that's part of the government of the Most High. You're not going to shape shift to a stone. A lot of brothers you're looking forward to. I wonder what it would be like to be a stone, right? And the Most High turn you from a human to a rock. That's not going to happen, man. It just means a pillar is something that keeps something stable, like a wife is a pillar of rest to a man. So you'll be one of the brothers in a position of government, and you'll never fall out the truth. You'll be in the kingdom, and the Most High is going to give you your lot, your position in the kingdom. That's what it means. I will write upon him the name of my God. That's not a tattoo, right? The name of the Most High is more than Yahweh. His name is what he stands for, the character, the spirit, the understanding. These things are going to be engraved in your mind. And the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. Right? This isn't we know the Most High doesn't change, right? When it says new in the Greek is kainos, which means refreshed. So the Most High is going to return you back to your old estate and give you the understanding, give you the new covenant, and give you your position in the kingdom. Your return back to you the estate that you were ordained. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans write, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of the Most High. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. And again, the Most High knows you brothers that are half-stepping. You got all the cereal and no milk, right? You got your shoes on, one shoe on, one shoe off. You got certain brothers, they put their pants on and they leave the house with no shirt on. That's a lukewarm kind of guy. When you put your shirt on and no pants on. Sometimes you in this thing, sometimes you're not. You got certain brothers, you in the truth on the Sabbath day, and you in the world the other days. That's a lukewarm brother. And lukewarm is like, you coffee. You either like iced coffee or you like hot coffee. I don't know any type of brother that like room temperature coffee, man. If somebody give you iced coffee and it's warm, hey, you spit it out, man. They'll say, what the hell is this? And that's what the Most High is going to do. He's going to spew out a lot of brothers, meaning give you your walking papers. If brothers want to touch on this, brothers can touch on this.
You got it.
Calm, right? And like the brother said, man, being lukewarm, it's you either in this thing or you out this thing, man. It's plain, man. You sitting there, you're not on fire, or not even beseeching and trying and crying to be on fire. The Lord not going to deal with you, man. Right? I'm gonna go to Proverbs 20 and 4. This Proverbs chapter 20, right? And verse number 4. And it reads, it says, the sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing. Right? So that sluggard, man, he's not going to be working. He works, but he's not going to work when it gets cold. He works when he wants to work. He's a lukewarm worker. It says, the sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Guess what? If it's not cold outside, he could be the best damn plower this side of the Mississippi, man. He's sitting up there plowing everything, getting everything aside. But once it get too cold outside, he's nowhere to be found. He's like a mystery, right? He's like he vanishes in thin air, man. Right. You're looking for this man. He's nowhere to be found. You're knocking on his door. He's dead asleep, man. Under the covers. And he's waiting for things to get comfortable for himself to go back out there, man. Don't be that man. You on fire one way, but as soon as something shifts and changes, it's a whole nother type of spirit. It says, therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. So you go work. I mean, you could literally fast every other day, read 5 books a day. You're doing charity for 6 months. And then you take the other 6 months off of the year, you're not going to make it, man. So it doesn't matter how much you do. It's consistently enduring. You have to be consistent in a race. You can't start off fast like the tortoise and the hare, right? You just excel and then you slow up. Yeah, I believe, I mean, there's so many different, stories within that. But, hey, what I remember is the damn rabbit, man. He went to the tree and started chilling. He went to the tree, he kicked back, and he fell asleep. Next thing you know, the turtle ate through diligence and endurance. He damn lapsed him, man. That just goes to show you that it's not a race to the swift, man. So when you're doing the work of the Lord, you have to understand that it's through diligence that you're going to prevail in this thing, and you can't be slothful.
And quick, all right, quick. You got a precept you done?
Got a quick point.
Okay, go ahead. I got one after you.
Try going to work early in the morning. You're doing your job, and then you just stop. What do you think is going to happen to you? You think Esau going to turn the other shoulder, kind of pat you on the back and say, "What's up, buddy? You're not moving the same as you used to." He's going to write you up, and then you're going to have a big Eve put your hand on your shoulder, talking about, "I need you to clock out for me, baby." So you can't be half, you can't move. You got to do the work all the time, man. You can't do the work sometimes and kind of, I'll do it when I feel like it, right? When most I put in my spirit to do it, then I'll do it. You being a jerk. You got to do the work, man.
God. Hey, man, they call them, they have fair weather fans, right? A fair weather fan is he only likes his team when they're doing good, right? You might have like a NFL or NBA team, like the Lakers, right? You only like them when they're doing good, right? When they're on a winning streak and they breaking records and they might be in the playoffs or whatever, but as soon as they start losing, hey, you act like you don't know them, huh? And then you on to the next thing. Nobody likes a fair weather fan or a fair weather friend. That's a lukewarm friend. They only with you when you're on top. You can read that in the Apocrypha. Sirach 37, Sirach, the 6th chapter. And then when things start going bad, they're not around. You can be a fair weather prophet. I know brothers only go out there when it's 75 and up. So they lick their finger, hold it up, see the wind speed, and say, okay, I can go out there. Take a thermometer, hold it up to the damn, point it to the sun, shake it, look at it, and if it's 75 and up, they're going to put their garment on. But if it's 74 and below, they stand inside. Max, not the AC. That's wicked. You got to be in this thing 24/7. You got brothers in this truth until their friends come around. Now they act like they don't know the Lord. Let me get this in what's that? 2 Timothy. You got certain brothers, you in this thing, then your worldly family members come around and you deny the Lord. That's a lukewarm person. I know certain brothers who, like I brought this out before, they in this truth for 6 years, and the 7th year is their year of release. So they say, okay, look, you know the law, right? You know my 7th year is coming up. I could take that year off. Where's it at in the Bible? When you got the Sabbath of a prophet, the prophetical Sabbath. You can be a prophet for 6 years, and the Sabbath year, you're back in the world. You said what?
No.
Yeah, this 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 12. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. You don't have to just deny the Lord on one day. You deny the Lord anytime you set up an idol in your heart. You say, I don't need the Lord. You deny the Lord every time you caking up with your woman when you didn't pray and read and study. Right? You're on the phone court for 9 hours asking, what's your favorite cereal? What's your favorite color? You didn't even fast to pray this week. You deny the Lord every time you work that extra shift on the Sabbath day when you know you got kept. That's a lukewarm individual. Why would you want a lukewarm soldier in the army? Sometimes he feel like fighting the enemy. Sometimes he don't got your back. Sometimes he doing his own thing. You got to get rid of that guy, man. The Most High needs either you in this thing or you out this thing. That's plain. Right? So this go ahead, King.
No, you got it. I'm gonna go after. I
was done the point. I was done my point.
This 1 Samuel 14 and 52, man. Right? 1 Samuel chapter 14 and verse 52. Right? And it reads, it says, and there was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul, And when Saul saw any strong man or any valiant man, he took him unto him. So Saul was looking for the men that was going to do some damage in battle, man. He wasn't looking for the men that were lame, the men that were sick, the men that didn't want to show up, the men that were scared. He said, look, when he ever saw a strong man, a valiant man, he took him unto himself. What you think the Lord do, man? He see somebody studying, somebody valiant, somebody strong. He gonna take him unto himself for the battle. That made me think of it what the brother just said, man. Because men in the army, they're not looking for men that don't care. They don't want to show up. They scared with the axe is too heavy for them. They don't know which side their sword is on, the right hand or the left. No, they said, Saul, hey, when you in this thing, man, you gotta literally be like, you know what? We're gonna make an all-star team. Basketball, Michael Jordan is not gonna pick a ninth string, man. Somebody that just is the water boy. He go turn it and change your clothes. He's gonna look for all of the men that are just as talented as he is, man, to go out there and do the work, man. The same with an army. So the Lord and his hit squad are gonna be all men that are on fire, man. Every prophet, evangelist, disciple, every man that can do and help the Lord in the ministry, man. You got to understand. It says, or any valiant man, he took him unto him. So the Lord's taking a lot of men in the last days and taking them to the army of the Lord. You got certain men, they aren't invited. The Lord's not drafting them in. And the Lord don't want them. Why? Because they're scared to fight. If you scared every time a demon come around and you fall out the truth, or you on the tip of the iceberg all the time, I don't know, this may be the one, or what do I do? Or maybe if I just, and they always weary. If somebody's always weary, guess what? It's only a matter of time before they're going to faint, man. Everybody for lack of better terms, gets, tired. This happens, that happens. That's the condition of the battle. Nobody's perfect, you understand, like the Lord. But at the end of the day, the Lord looking for the men that are going to be strong in battle. They're going to fight these spirits so he can take them into the army and to himself, man.
God. And like somebody said in the comment board, the coach isn't looking for bench warmers. You just want to join the team to be on the bench, right? You got certain players, when the fourth quarter come around, they're nowhere to be found. Then you got those clutch players, and they're mentally built for that. They're mentally built no matter what type of adversity, back is against the wall, 30 seconds to go. You have certain guys that are just built for that. And the coach say, when they draw up the play, they say, look, we're going to run the play for this guy right here. They're not running the play for the guy who don't show up to practice, man. They're running the play. They're going to say, look, we're going to pass. You're going to set a pick. You're going to come around the corner. You're going to throw him off the back. Then you're going to do this. And everybody knows that guy's getting the ball. Like the brother said, Michael Jordan, add to what he said. Everybody knows that he's going to get that ball. And when it's still not a damn thing you can do about it. Even when they know it, it's nothing he can do about it. You want to be that kind of guy in this truth, man. You want to be trusted in this thing. You want to be the brother that the Most High is looking at. Okay, he's going to do the will. Right? He set up Jeremiah, Elijah, John the Baptist, Ezekiel. All these men were counted faithful. And I always think about how mighty our righteous forefathers were, man. I think about the Apostle Paul, Nehemiah, the 12. Those men were mighty, man. And they were faithful even until death. So the Most High is looking for those brothers, like he went into with this verse right here, man. Not the lukewarm. How do you have a lukewarm man trying to put the nations in order? He's going to end up getting tempted. Why he's putting them in order? This we're going to try to knock this chapter out. This verse 16. Oh, it's like 17. Because thou sayest, I am rich. And this was an actual church, man. This church was lukewarm, right? The Laodicean church, they wasn't on fire. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. So certain brothers, like we always say, and women, they think that they're well off and they don't need anything. They don't have to pray anymore. They don't have to read. They don't have to study because they studied last week, right? They don't have to congregate because they have it all figured out. And the whole time the Lord knows that, you know, you're destroying yourself. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness doth not slack do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. So while you busy buying clothes and what else is Jake buying? Canned goods. The PS, I don't know, the PS5. You said what? Shoes. You should be buying gold tried in the fire and the white raiment. This should be on your to-do list. You got your to-do list. Okay, I gotta buy this. I gotta buy this. But are you buying this white raiment? Yeah, brother. Where do I buy it? Is it at TJ Maxx? No, brother. Well, maybe it's in the so-and-so mall. No, your white raiment is given to you by the Most High. How do you buy it? Well, buy means to gain and acquire. How do you gain righteousness? By repenting. How do you obtain salvation? By acknowledging your sins and keeping the commandments. That's the currency you give in exchange for this white raiment. This is not something where you can spend. You can cash out the Most High, and He gives you righteousness. Where is it at in the Bible? The Most High said, "Here's my cash app," and it's okay. It's a money sign and it's Y8. No, that's off, man. You know, you give the Most High your time, your repentance, your prayer, your fasting. In exchange, He'll give you a white raiment. Same thing when it says, "Buy of me gold tried in the fire." So you want to be proven by the Most High. You want to bring people to the Most High, and y'all want to go through the fire that the Most High that you could truly be rich. You know, that's the investment. Certain times you buy things and then it gives you an increase, right? So when you acquire these things, that's how you obtain true riches, right? Just like you might buy a house and it's worth $10 million, right? You got it cheap, it's worth $10 million. Or you bought this car, but the value of it is really $100,000. That happens all the time. People buy things and it gives them more increase than they actually had. So when you buy these things spiritually, you buy this spiritual gold and this white raiment, it increases your spiritual net worth, for lack of better terms. And you're more valuable in the eyes of the Most High, you know? So you could clothe yourself and don't be destroyed in that day. And one more point, and you anoint your eyes with eye salve. You got a lot of brothers saying, well, where do I get that? Is that Walgreens? CVS? You know, is that Walmart? Where do I get eye salve? Well, eye salve is the understanding for your mind, that you can clearly see what the Most High requires of you. Brothers got it.
You got a yard down.
God. You left off at 19?
Well, we can keep going. It's up to you. I left off at 18.
Okay.
I finished 18.
You said what?
I finished 18.
Okay. At 19, as many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Right? That's plain upon tables. Right? As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Right? That's another precept that where the Lord loves Israel only, because He's not rebuking these temples. You know, you had a lot of Romans, you had a lot of Edomites. They had their temples, they had their things on the left-hand side. He's not rebuking them. He didn't write a letter to the 7 churches to the Edomites, right, or to the 7 temples to the Edomites of Jupiter. He's not reproving them. He's not rebuking them, right? He's rebuking Israel. There's a release.
Now it says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. So the Lord is ready to just come inside your temple and live with you and feed you. If you open the door, right? If you open up your mind and stop being in the world and stop entertaining false religion and politics, just open up the spirit and allow the Lord to come in. You got a lot of people, they buck up against the truth.
Right.
The Lord coming in, you put your foot in the door. You know how you use that nasty foot you got that's strong as hell for some reason, and it can stop anybody from coming in. Right? Here the Lord is trying to come in. You put that chair up and tilt it over. That's wicked, man. Just let the Lord in. Take all them locks off, open the door, and let him come in. He's only here to feed you and take care of you. You know, and sup with you, man. He's not coming into your vessel to destroy you. Let him in. Let this truth in. Receive this word. That's what the Most High said. It reads.
I got a quick precept on that too.
Come.
Right? Song of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse number 5. Right? For the Lord coming to your door, man. This Song of Solomon 5 and 5. I rose up to open to my beloved, and my hands dropped with myrrh, and my fingers with sweet swelling myrrh upon the handles of the lock, man. So the Lord's sitting there, he at the door. Now, if you don't open up the door, hey, it is what it is, man. You may have that one opportunity and chance to hear the truth. That could be you on the highways and byways. A lot of people, we've seen it 1,000 times. They come up, they listen for maybe 30 seconds. They say, well, I'm going to look into it. And then they leave in the darkness of night. We never see them again. And I'm led to believe half of them don't go back and look at the flyer. But Lord willing, the seed is sown on our behalf. You understand? And that'll be their only chance in the land of the living to receive understanding. And they shut the door. So don't think that you got to be asleep at night for the Lord to come to your mind and, oh, I haven't had a dream and I don't know how long. When is the Lord talking to me? And the Lord talking to you right now, man, through the precepts, through the counsel, through the understanding, through the servants of the Lord, man. If you don't open up and receive these words, hey, the Lord may not ever come to your door again.
And the Lord will pass by you, man.
Yeah.
You have certain salesmen, they do that. If you don't answer the door, I had this old job in the world. When you go door to door, you do that little salesman knock, and they got a little bit of time to answer because you want to clock, and you got to hit a certain amount of houses. We had to hit like 60 plus houses. So we not waiting for you for 20 minutes to open the damn door. These salesmen, they on the clock. They're getting paid, and they got to make this money. And if you don't open this door, they give you about, I think we was told, give them maybe like 15 seconds. All right, you might knock again. If you kind of saw somebody moving by the blinds or the window, they might teach you to knock again. Now, if they don't answer, guess what? You're moving on. And you might have had a deal for them. You might have said, okay, look, whatever, we give you this. All you got to do is this. Now you go to the next door. They might open on the first knock, and they get what you was missing out on. And that happens all the time, man. Now you peeking your hand out, hey, come back. But guess what? He ran out. That was his last one. Whatever it was, that was the last one he had. You was 2 seconds late. So you finally went to get to the door, but he was already at the next man's house. So these things, hey, you read verse 6, King?
You got it.
Yeah, that's verse 6. I opened to my beloved, but my beloved had withdrawn himself and was gone. You see that? So you want to try to get and deal with the Most High. He's gone. He'll leave. Especially if you're going off. My soul failed when he spake. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. You're like that salesman. He already down the block. You calling him, they got his headphones in, and he on to the next house, man. You try, hey, come back. You running after him. He's gone. He peeled the corner, and he's out of there. So these things happen, man.
He can take that mindset of what your mom told you. Don't open the door when anybody knock.
Yeah.
You're ignoring all the signs that the Lord try to tell you.
Yeah, all kinds of like that stranger danger spirit. It's a stranger at the door.
And now you calling the Lord a stranger, man. That's off.
Right. And the Lord is only coming in to feed you. I mean, the Lord is coming in to take care of you. And like I always say, I don't know anybody that does that, right? Nobody knocks on your door and comes in with a great feast to feed you. It's supposed to be the other way around, right? You're supposed to come in their house and they're supposed to take care of you, you know? But the Lord is so loving, he'll come in and set up the table and the placemat and have all the food, and he'll come into your house and do what you wouldn't do, and he'll feed you, you know? And every time you don't let the Lord in, you're standing him up, you know? So this is a heavy verse right here, man. This is verse 21. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. Meaning you're going to rule and have authority. It reads, to him that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. So this isn't for everybody. Everything you heard tonight, you can neglect it. You can say, well, that's just a riot, right? So what? And that's just Yard Down. What does he know? He's in Detroit. And Aquaman, I'll forget about him, right? Those are just men. I'm waiting for the true men of God. And they're going to come and they're going to be 7 feet tall and have angel wings and big ancient books. You know those books with the little riffles
String.
on the head? You said what?
Is it like string?
Yeah, it kind of look old. Like an old notebook. It's kind of like dark brown and it got it looks like an ancient book. Right? A lot of brothers are waiting for those kind of guys with these ancient books. It kind of riffled in the middle. You know, it's all old. It got the engraving in it. And it got that lock on it that you could put a key in. You know, and open it up. So you're going to spend your time waiting on that, man. The word is manifest through his servants. So it's up to you to take heed to what was brought out or not, man. You know, this is what the Spirit said into the churches, and and it is what it is. But brothers, got any closing precepts?
Kyle, we're gonna go right back to you got a Yard Down. I got something after you.
This Iraq, the classic, chapter 35, verse 3. And it reads, to depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Lord, and to forsake unrighteousness is a propitiation, right? Because you have more people other than the Lord knocking at your door, believe it or not. You're going to have Satan knocking at your door. You're going to have Buddhism, Taoism, Jainism, right? Christianity, Islam. All of these horrors are knocking at your door, right? And it's up to you to spiritually discern which one's right. And of course, none of the ones that are just listed are right. Because Yahweh, when he knocks, right, your mind should already be clicking. Okay, that's him. That's the one. Let me open up my door, right? Let me depart from these other wicked people. I will let him in. Verse 4, thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord, for all these things are to be done because of the commandment. The offering of the righteous make the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. Because the Most High, and we brought it out earlier, he keeps record of everything. And he's going to keep record and track of how many things that you're bringing before him, right? All the time that you gave to him, right? All of that's before him. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. All right, and I'm a cease on that. Right, I yield, because that's plain upon tables is brought out every other week. Right, so you can't appear empty before the Lord. You have to have some type of works, right? Righteous works.
Come on. Right. We can go to Revelation chapter 3 and verse number 2, man. Revelation chapter 3 and verse number 2. We touched on it earlier on in the lesson, but we're going to touch on it again, man. It's a very, very powerful precept. It says, be watchful, because it touches on so much in one precept, right? Say, be watchful. So brothers got to watch for their spirits, you understand, and everything, the prophecies, and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, who have not found our works perfect before God. So strengthen the inner man, man. Strengthen your spirit. Strengthen everything that you have on you left before it wax away and you find yourself spiritually deceased, man. not in the truth anymore, nor caring about being in the truth, nor is it any, for lack of better terms, good for you, and you're not zealous, you don't care, you're lackadaisical, you're falling back to your old ways. It says, remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard. So remember everything in this truth that the Lord has opened up your eyes up to see and your ears to hear. And hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come unto thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon you. So if you're not holding yourself diligent as a man and woman of the Lord's going to pull up on you, man. And the Lord's not going to meet you as a man. Don't think the Lord is going to have, mercy forever, and you're not doing anything to obtain mercy, man. Your works and your fruits say otherwise, right? The Lord's coming back to save the diligent man that's on fire, that's crying, reading, praying, and fasting, keeping the commandments and having faith. So all you men and women out there, make sure that you're holding yourself liable, you understand, to everything that you're doing. Repenting, watching, fasting, praying, reading, right? Doing everything you do to magnify the name of the Lord, you understand, and obtain mercy.
And I want to get the classic in Revelation, the 22nd chapter, right? This is Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12, right? Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12, and it reads, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So every man and woman will be judged according to your works. How much charity you gave, how much love you have towards your brother, how much work you put in for the Most High, alms and studying and praying and fasting. Everything is going to be put on the table, and whatever you gave the Most High, he's going to reward you accordingly. If your works were slothful, if your works were found lacking, your reward is going to be death and punishment and pain and sorrow. If your works are righteous, then the Most High is going to reward you with the kingdom of heaven. Like we always say, there's only two options. It's plain, either death or life when Yahweh returns. Man, it's no purgatory. It's no in between. It's no you're in a limbo and you're in probation. It's either death or life in the land of the living. Man. But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh. We'll take questions, most I willing, for about an hour. So we'll the number for brothers to call in, if you do have a question, is 213-603-9096. You should see that on the live chat. We may show it on the screen. So that number is 213-603-9096. And that PIN number is 94809-305. For those who have questions, you're more than welcome to call in. We'll run that call like we always do for about an hour. 213-603-9096. And the PIN number 94809-305. With that, Brother Naquan.
Shalom, Brother Riley.
Brother Yardan.
Kwam Yashala. Shalom.